Su Qingshan transmigrated to the Huanggu continent and became the ancestral spirit of the Bai clan. To his surprise, he found himself transformed into the sacred lord sealed inside a massive stone and unable to break free. The 12 talismans had been sealed together with him. Fortunately, they could be unsealed. Using their power, he helped the clan that offered him sacrifices grow stronger step by step, and the clan in turn nourished him. Moreover, he discovered that the powers of the 7 great demons had followed him here. On the Huanggu continent in Baija village, a group of villagers slaughtered several fierce beasts and offered them on a huge stone. The blood and corpses of those fierce beasts were all absorbed by the huge stone, but the stone showed no change at all. "Grandfather, we have made offerings to the ancestral spirit for many years, yet it never responds. Why must we keep risking our lives hunting fierce beasts to sacrifice to it?" A young boy felt deeply dissatisfied that the village kept offering sacrifices to the stone. If the blood and carcasses of those sacrificed beasts were used to nurture the clan, there would surely be more powerful warriors in the clan. Why waste them on a stone that never gave any response? "Yes, we have worshipped the ancestral spirit for years, but it never manifests. Why should we keep worshipping it? These fierce beasts were hunted by clansmen at the risk of their lives. Many have already died hunting them. We cannot go on like this. This is a bottomless pit that only takes and never gives. We must change this." Some other boys and girls spoke out against the offerings, just like the first youth. Even before they were born, the clan had already been worshipping the ancestral spirit. Through all these years, no matter how hard life became, they had never stopped. Yet they had never received any response. Most clansmen were disheartened and no longer wanted to keep offering sacrifices to the stone. Some of the more radical ones even wanted to smash it. Bai Yiming, chieftain of the Bai clan, swept his eyes over the crowd. His face was old, but his spirit was vigorous, and he carried an imposing authority that silenced all around him. "Come here." The old man's eyes were like a wild beast's. The boys and girls were so frightened that they dared not move. Only his grandson Bai Yunfei summoned his courage and walked up to him. Slap. Without a word, the old man struck Bai Yunfei with a heavy blow, sending him flying. Blood sprayed from the boy's mouth, and several teeth were knocked loose. "Gee, grandfather." Bai Yunfei was still stunned. He had never imagined that the grandfather who loved him most would lay such a heavy hand on him. The scene terrified the boys and girls who had spoken earlier. One by one, they instinctively stepped back, not daring to meet the old man's eyes. "You all remember this: the ancestral spirit is the foundation of our Bai clan. If the ancestral spirit had not risked everything to save us back, then the Bai clan would have been wiped out. We would not be lingering in this small mountain village, and none of you would exist." The old man's eyes were harsh and fierce as he swept them over everyone. He said sternly, "The clan precept places the worship of the ancestral spirit above all. That cannot be questioned. As long as the Bai clan exists, we must worship the ancestral spirit with all our hearts. Anyone who disobeys the clan precept is no longer a member of the Bai clan." Hearing this, everyone was startled. Even some middle-aged clansmen who had privately complained about the sacrifices immediately fell silent and dared not object any longer. "Take all who spoke out just now and give them 30 heavy strokes, then send them into the great wilderness to hunt fierce beasts as punishment." This decision shocked everyone, for it was an extremely severe punishment. After 30 heavy strokes, the young boys and girls could barely get out of bed. After that, entering the great wilderness was almost certain death. They would likely perish there. No one had expected Bai Yiming to hand down such a heavy punishment, and it included the grandson he cherished most. Some wanted to plead for mercy, but one look at Bai Yiming's harsh eyes silenced them. The ritual was soon completed, and the crowd gradually dispersed. Only the great stone stood alone in the ancestral land. The Bai clan is truly interesting. Watching the crowd leave, Su Qingshan, who had become the stone, let his thoughts churn. He came from a world ruled by law, yet somehow he had crossed over to the Huanggu continent and become a massive stone that had its own thoughts but could not move. He could see his own form clearly, a coiled dragon sealed inside the stone. On his body were 12 stone talismans, and a small tree grew beside him. "Isn't this the sacred lord? These are also the sacred lord's talismans." Su Qingshan realized that his appearance was exactly the image of the great villain from an animated series he had watched before crossing over. At first he was delighted. After all, even though the sacred lord was the great villain, he was powerful enough. The Huanggu continent was also a world where might made right, and the weak were meat for the strong. Wouldn't he be able to do whatever he wanted, even refuse to eat beef? But he quickly found himself trapped. Not only did he have no power at all, he could not even move. He wanted to cry but had no tears. He had been in Baija village for 3 years. During those 3 years, the village had offered sacrifices so often that he began to change. The talismans on his body were beginning to loosen, which gave him hope. Just as Su Qingshan was thinking about how to regain his freedom, a little girl aged around 9 quietly came to his side. "Ancestral spirit, grandfather, I have come to see you again. They say father and mother are crippled from hunting fierce beasts, and they will spend the rest of their lives in bed. Many people think you are to blame." At that point the little girl was clearly sad, but she went on, "Father and mother have told me since I was little that you are the hope of our Bai clan. Without you there would be no Bai clan. So I will not blame you." Bai Weiyun was still very young, but her mind was far beyond her years. Another child upon learning that their parents had suffered such a disaster would have been crying long ago. Yet she remained so calm that it was almost frightening. Su Qingshan felt a pang of pain when he heard the little girl's words. Not long ago her parents had come to offer sacrifices to him. He never expected them to end up in such a state in such a short time, and all because they had hunted fierce beasts for his sake. He felt even worse. Looking at Bai Weiyun before him, Su Qingshan was filled with pity. Such a little girl at an age when she should be playfully clinging to her parents and free of worries had instead suffered such a misfortune. She was truly worthy of sympathy. Boom. At that moment the horse talisman on Su Qingshan's body shook violently and finally broke free from its seal. Wonderful. All these years of sacrifices have finally brought some reward. For 3 years Su Qingshan had all the offerings from Baijia village channeled into the horse talisman because it was the one among the 12 most likely to break its seal. The horse talisman had not completely escaped its seal, but it could already exert part of its power. A gentle stream of energy poured into Bai Weiyun's body. The little girl felt comfortable all over, and all the minor ailments she had were cured. Ancestral spirit grandfather, did you cure Weiyun's illness? The little girl's senses were very sharp. After noticing the change in her body, she looked at Su Qingshan with wide eyes, believing he had healed her. The power of the horse talisman was not limited to that. It not only cured all her diseases, but also gently widened her meridians as if it had washed her marrow and transformed her tendons. So tired. It seems I cannot control the horse talisman too much for now. After healing Bai Weiyun's injuries and improving her cultivation aptitude, Su Qingshan felt a wave of exhaustion wash over him. "Weiyun, you've come again." At that moment the aged figure of Bai Yiming approached, his eyes filled with nothing but affection as he gazed upon Bai Weiyun. He held great fondness for this little girl who often came to speak with the ancestral spirit. The hearts of the Bai clan had grown restless in these times, no longer revering the ancestral spirit as they once did, an ill omen indeed. For now his authority kept matters in check, but his body had been grievously wounded in a long-ago battle, and recovery seemed impossible. He knew not how much longer he could hold on. Once he fell, the Bai clan might very well cease their veneration of the ancestral spirit. These days this very thought had weighed heavily upon his mind, yet he found no solution. Clan Elder Grandpa, the ancestral spirit, just manifested. He healed all of Weiyun's wounds. I want to bring my parents here to pay respects to the ancestral spirit too, so that their injuries might be healed as well. Bai Yiming did not take the girl's words to heart, dismissing them as a child's fanciful dream, and he could not bear to shatter it. "Very well, the ancestral spirit will surely heal your parents." Bai Yiming smiled as he walked towards the girl, intending to send her home. But as he drew near Su Qingshan, his expression froze, and his very soul trembled. What is this? He felt a gentle force surge within him, coursing through his meridians. Not only did it mend all his old wounds, but even the cultivation bottleneck that had remained unshaken for years began to loosen. Shock overwhelmed him, and he realized that Bai Weiyun's earlier words were no childish fantasy. Bai Yiming immediately prostrated himself, kowtowing before Su Qingshan with the fervor of a devoted zealot. "This humble one thanks the ancestral spirit. The Bai clan shall venerate the ancestral spirit for all eternity." After a long while, seeing no further movement from the great stone, Bai Yiming slowly rose to his feet. "Weiyun, you must not tell anyone about the ancestral spirit's manifestation, do you understand?" Bai Weiyun nodded solemnly. "Clan Elder Grandpa, I understand. I won't tell a soul. Weiyun is such a good girl." Bai Yiming escorted Bai Weiyun back home, then hastened to seclude himself to break through to the next realm. Meanwhile, a group of people were secretly gathering, discussing the day's events. The clan elder has grown senile. He is advanced in years and no longer fit to hold the position of clan elder. The burly man at the head spoke with fierce intensity, showing not a shred of respect for Bai Yiming. Bai Zhan was the second strongest in Bai family village, second only to Bai Yiming, and had long harbored the ambition to usurp his position. Yet Bai Yiming commanded great respect, and was a powerful cultivator of the 9th rank's late stage. Despite his injuries and advanced age, Bai Zhan dared not challenge him openly. However, as the years of continuous ancestral veneration wore on, many clan members grew discontent, drifting away from Bai Yiming. Bai Zhan seized the opportunity to rally these dissidents, plotting to collectively depose Bai Yiming and seize control of the Bai clan. Indeed, the clan elder's decisions in recent years have failed to convince. We cannot allow him to continue his reckless ways, leading the Bai clan into utter ruin. Let us unite and depose the clan elder and elect a virtuous person to take his place. Since the clan elder has lost his virtue, let him step down and yield to the worthy. The crowd clamored relentlessly, eager to overthrow Bai Yiming at this opportune moment. Everyone, the clan elder has led the Bai clan for many years, and many still support him. We must not act rashly. Someone spoke up to halt the fervor. Bai Yiming had devoted his life to the Bai clan, laboring with utmost dedication, and his prestige was unmatched. Even though the matter of ancestral veneration drew widespread criticism, it was insufficient to topple his rule. They would need a more long-term strategy. The clan elder wishes to offer sacrifices to the ancestral spirit, does he not? Now that Bai Wu and his wife are gravely wounded and cannot hunt ferocious beasts, if he wants to conduct the ritual, he will have to hunt the beasts himself. Already burdened by his old injuries, the moment he takes action his wounds will flare up. When that happens, he'll have no choice but to relinquish the position of clan elder without us even lifting a finger. A malicious scheme was hatched. They would all abstain from the next beast hunt, forcing Bai Yiming to act personally and fully trigger his latent injuries. Once his wounds erupted, he would no longer be a threat. They could then use his severe condition as grounds to compel him to abdicate. Ha ha ha, indeed, that's the way. A brilliant plan. Then we wait a while longer. Having settled on their strategy against Bai Yiming, the group departed thoroughly satisfied. Boom. A subtle ripple emanated from within the clan hall, as Bai Yiming expelled a turbid breath, successfully breaking through to the 8th rank. In the Huanggu continent, the cultivation ranks spanned from 1st to 9th, with 1st being the highest and 9th the lowest. As for what lay beyond the 1st rank, that was beyond the current understanding of the Bai clan. This was a world where power resided within the individual. The mighty could shatter heaven and earth, and even 9th rank cultivators possessed strength exceeding 10,000 jin, a force not to be underestimated. I never imagined this old man would one day break through to the 8th rank. Bai Yiming was filled with deep emotion. His innate talent was limited. The 9th rank had always been his ceiling. Moreover, the wounds he had sustained in battle had been irreversible, robbing him of any chance for further advancement. Yet unexpectedly, at this very moment, he had achieved the coveted 8th rank. The matter of the ancestral spirit must be kept secret. No one else can know, lest it bring catastrophic ruin upon the Bai clan. Bai Yiming, shrewd with age, understood well the principle that innocence invites calamity when one possesses a coveted treasure. He had to guard the ancestral spirit's secret at all costs. Bai Wu and his wife have always been reverent towards the ancestral spirit, and both are 9th rank warriors. I can beseech the ancestral spirit to heal them. Bai Yiming knew the inner workings of the Bai clan like the back of his hand. Previously, he had worried that after his departure the clan would cease their offerings to the ancestral spirit. Now, not only had his wounds fully healed, but he had also broken through to the 8th rank. All problems would soon resolve themselves. Under the cover of night, with Bai Yiming's arrangements, the paralyzed Bai Wu and his wife were carried before Su Qingshan. Bai Yiming knelt respectfully on the ground and prayed. Ancestral spirit, Bai Wu and his wife were gravely wounded. For the sake of the clan, I beseech you to show compassion and grant them your grace, once more healing them both. We shall hunt even more ferocious beasts to offer in your honor. Bai Yiming was uncertain whether Su Qingshan could hear his words, nor whether the ancestral spirit would manifest again. His heart was filled with anxiety. Su Qingshan looked upon the 7 figures below. Besides Bai Wu, his wife, and Bai Yiming, there was also an elderly man and 3 middle-aged men. All of them were staunch supporters of ancestral veneration, filled with reverence. Su Qingshan could see a deep crimson aura hovering above their heads, completely different from the others. During previous rituals, the crowd bore various colors above them, and those who clamored to cease veneration had heads wreathed in black. Could these colors represent the level of faith the Bai clan members hold towards me? Su Qingshan speculated, though he would need further confirmation. Bai Wu and his wife, the parents of Bai Weiyun, were devout believers in their ancestral spirit. Su Qingshan naturally would not stand idly by. His strength, having recovered, was now sufficient to heal them both. The couple felt a gentle force enter their bodies, and the afflictions that had tormented them vanished in an instant. Not only that, but their meridians began to expand, and old injuries from years past were completely healed. Their aura surged, and they were on the verge of a breakthrough. After completing this, Su Qingshan was utterly exhausted. The couple, now healed, immediately knelt and kowtowed, not caring even as their foreheads split. We thank the ancestral spirit for the gift of life. For the rest of our days we shall hunt fierce beasts for you and offer sacrifices in your honor. They were already fervent followers, but now their devotion burned even hotter. The ancestral spirit has shown its divine power. This is wonderful. We have finally awaited this day. Heaven has blessed us. The Bai clan shall surely return to its former glory. Witnessing this, the other 4 also knelt, kowtowing to Su Qingshan, with tears streaming down their faces. They had waited for this moment for far too long. A mysterious power from the group flowed into Su Qingshan, and he felt a subtle shift in his seal. It seems that to break free, I will need the aid of the Bai clan. Su Qingshan resolved to support them wholeheartedly, for only then could he hope to escape his prison. News of Bai Wu's recovery spread throughout Bai family village. Bai Yiming himself announced that he had purchased an 8th grade pill to heal them. This caused quite a stir, and the 2 sides nearly came to blows. An 8th grade pill is priceless. How could it be wasted on 2 cripples? With such a treasure, our village might have gained another 8th rank warrior. This is a monstrous waste. We will not stand for the clan leader spending our spirit stones like this. Many clan members were indignant. They were deeply dissatisfied with by Yiming using clan resources for such a purpose and were not willing to let the matter rest. Let us all go and demand an explanation from the clan leader. Urged on by certain instigators, a large crowd gathered at the clan hall demanding a reasonable account. Bai Yiming was already aware of the approaching crowd. He stepped out of the hall to see what they were making such a fuss about. The moment they saw him, their belligerence was instantly cowed. Having led the clan for many years, Bai Yiming commanded deep respect and fear. What is the meaning of this gathering? He was like a furious lion, his cold gaze sweeping over the crowd. They quickly lowered their heads, not daring to meet his eyes. Useless cowards, Bai Zhan muttered. He knew he had to step forward, or the matter would simply fizzle out. Clan leader, we hear you purchased an 8th grade pill to heal Bai Wu and his wife. They are pillars of the clan, and their recovery is a boon. However, we wish to know where the spirit stones for this purchase came from. Did you use the clan's treasury? Bai Zhan cut straight to the point, directly questioning the source of the spirit stones. An 8th grade pill is extremely precious, worth over 1,000 spirit stones, enough to drain the clan's savings accumulated over generations. They would never allow Bai Yiming to spend the clan's resources so recklessly. Indeed, according to the clan's ancestral teachings, the clan's spirit stones belong to all members. Even the clan leader cannot spend them without everyone's consent. Emboldened by Bai Zhan, the others began to voice their agreement. With a sudden surge of powerful aura, Bai Yiming suppressed the crowd instantly. This is the 8th rank. Impossible. How could the clan leader have broken through to the 8th rank? Everyone was stunned, their disbelief palpable. Bai Yiming was old and heavily injured, with no hope of ever reaching the 8th rank. This turn of events was utterly unexpected. I did not use a single spirit stone from the clan's treasury. The pills for Bai Wu and his wife were purchased with my own savings accumulated over many years. Do you have any more questions? Overwhelmed by his oppressive presence, no one dared to speak. Bai Zhan then spoke up. Clan leader, this is a misunderstanding. We were misled by treacherous whispers. Please be magnanimous and forgive our transgression. The situation had spiraled completely out of Bai Zhan's control. With Bai Yiming's breakthrough, his own path to the clan leader's seat had become far more distant. Clan leader, we were deceived. Please forgive us, we heeded slanderous words. We never meant to question you. We will leave now. The crowd that had come in righteous fury fled in disarray, their challenge ending in a whimper. Watching them scatter, Bai Yiming shook his head in disappointment. The Bai clan's decline over the years was undoubtedly tied to such members. They are more trouble than they are worth. It seems I can no longer afford to be lenient. Bai Yiming had not become clan leader by being soft-hearted. Now that he had broken through to the 8th rank and the ancestral spirit had awakened, it was time to purge the clan of its corrupting elements. News of his breakthrough spread quickly through the village and into neighboring settlements. Excellent. With the clan leader's breakthrough, our village has become the strongest around. With an 8th rank cultivator, we will reap great benefits. The clan leader's breakthrough is a blessing for the entire Bai clan. The villagers celebrated, knowing that in the brutal Huanggu continent, a powerful leader was the lifeline of any community. Alas, with old Bai's breakthrough, our days will become harder. The neighboring villages felt immense pressure upon hearing the news. Previously, with no 8th rank cultivators, a balance of power was maintained and interests were settled. Bai Yiming's breakthrough shattered that equilibrium. The existing distribution of resources would be redrawn, which boded ill for them. Time passed, and over a month later, Bai Wu and his wife had successfully broken through to the mid-9th rank. However, they kept their advancement a secret. A month later, Bai Yiming summoned the clan again, intending to hunt fierce beasts for a new sacrifice to the ancestral spirit. The clan's ancestral teachings dictated that matters of sacrifice and war were paramount. Soon the elders and the 8th-9th rank cultivators had all arrived. Bai Yiming sat calmly in the seat of honor, while Bai Wu and his wife, unseen for a while, also entered the hall. Once everyone had gathered, Bai Yiming's expression turned stern as he declared, "We require more sacrifices to honor the ancestral spirit. This time all of you shall venture forth to hunt down the fierce beasts." The moment these words left Bai Yiming's mouth, the faces of Bai Zhan and the others drastically changed. In the past, the Bai clan had hunted beasts, but never had they deployed their entire force. The great wilderness was fraught with peril. Even a 9th rank cultivator was but an ant within its depths, and a single misstep could cost them their lives. If all the 9th rank cultivators of the Bai clan were to go, and an accident wiped them out, it would be a catastrophic blow to the clan's very existence. Patriarch, my old wound has flared up recently. I am in no condition to fight, and cannot participate in this hunt. Bai Zhan immediately conjured up an excuse to refuse. Seeing this, the others also attempted to voice their own refusals. It had always been this way. They dared not venture into the great wilderness, and every time it was Bai Wu and his wife who went. In the past, Bai Yiming's cultivation had not yet broken through and his old injuries were difficult to heal, forcing him to constantly compromise with them, allowing them to grow bolder and more presumptuous. But times had changed. Before they could even speak, they saw Bai Yiming seated in the place of honor blur into motion and instantly appear before Bai Zhan. With a thunderous bang, Bai Yiming's powerful palm struck the unprepared Bai Zhan, sending him flying through the air to crash heavily onto the ground, gravely wounded and on the verge of death. Patriarchal. Ugh. Bai Zhan, his breath fading, fell unconscious. The others witnessing this scene felt their pupils constrict and their bodies tremble uncontrollably. Bai Zhan was the strongest among them, a 9th-rank mid-stage cultivator, yet he couldn't withstand a single blow from Bai Yiming. This was a testament to Bai Yiming's immense power. Bai Zhan, for defying the clan's decree and challenging the patriarch's authority, his cultivation is hereby abolished, and he is to be expelled from the Bai clan from this day forth. Bai Yiming's tone was cold. It wasn't that he was heartless, but Bai Zhan was a restless element within the clan and had to be eliminated to serve as a warning to others. This hunt will be led by Bai Wu. If anyone dares to defy his orders, Bai Zhan's fate will be yours. By now the crowd was utterly cowed by Bai Yiming's ruthless methods. They trembled like leaves in a storm, their limbs shaking, and dared not disobey his commands any longer. The group quickly entered the great wilderness to begin their hunt. The wilderness was boundless, teeming with countless ferocious beasts, and Bai Wu and his team dared only to hunt at the very fringes, never venturing deeper. They soon spotted a herd of several hundred savage oxen, including 5 at the 9th rank, making them a formidable challenge. Bai Wu, isn't this too risky? Bai Yuan and the others were worried. Though there were 9 of them, a frenzied oxen herd would be difficult to handle. You just need to hold back the other beasts. Ruashi and I will handle the Ox King. To defeat the enemy, one must capture their leader. Once the Ox King was slain, the herd would be leaderless and scatter on its own. Attack! Bai Wu gave them no chance to argue, and they had no choice but to steel themselves and charge at the herd. The herd stirred in panic as the humans attacked, but the Ox King's bellow quickly restored order. The herd formed a protective circle around the young and weak, with the strongest bulls on the perimeter, creating an impenetrable wall. Kill! Bai Yuan and the others attacked from different directions, attempting to break their defense. With a burst of speed, Bai Wu and his wife lunged at the Ox King, their swords flashing as they sought to cut it down. The Ox King bellowed in fury, taking on the couple alone. Its hide was thick and tough. Even direct sword strikes only left shallow wounds, failing to inflict serious damage. With immense strength, the Ox King charged at Bai Wu, its horns lowered, hooves pounding the earth. Instead of dodging, Bai Wu did something shocking. He cast aside his sword, and seizing the perfect moment, lunged forward to grab the Ox King's horns, wrestling to hold it in place. Even though Bai Wu had broken through to 9th rank mid-stage, the sheer power of the Ox King was overwhelming, and he was pushed back, struggling against the immense force. Ruashi now. Despite being forced backward, Bai Wu held onto the Ox King's horns with a death grip, creating an opening for Lu Ruashi. Seizing the opportunity, Lu Ruashi, moving with incredible speed, drove her sword, charged with all her power, deep into the Ox King's throat. Fall back. The couple retreated swiftly after their successful strike. Feeling its life force ebbing away, the Ox King went berserk, charging at the couple in a desperate suicidal attempt. The couple dodged and weaved, and soon the Ox King's strength gave out. It collapsed to the ground, unable to rise again. Ignoring the fallen king, the couple plunged back into the fray, aiming to expand their gains and cull as many of the herd as possible. Leaderless, the herd fell into disarray. Their formation broke, and some beasts even turned to flee, presenting Bai Wu and his group with a perfect opportunity. They slaughtered the beasts mercilessly. In the end, they had slain 2 9th-rank savage oxen and 7 others in addition to the Ox King, the most bountiful hunt the Bai clan had seen in over a decade. Haha, this is a fantastic haul. With this much loot, we're looking at several hundred spirit stones. Bai Yuan and the others were ecstatic, gazing upon the massive pile of beast corpses. The scent of blood will attract other predators. We need to leave now. Bai Wu and his wife, veterans of the wilderness, knew this place was unsafe and quickly hoisted the carcasses to leave. They soon returned to Bai family village. The sight of their plentiful bounty drew a large crowd of villagers. Uncle Bai Wu and the others are back from the hunt. They brought back so many beasts. That must be a 9th-rank beast. Even dead, its ferocious aura is suffocating. With this many beast corpses, our village's strength will definitely increase. Many villagers eyed the oxen corpses with undisguised greed. The beasts were valuable, their flesh was rich in blood, and she aiding in cultivation, and many hoped to claim a share. The group hauled the carcasses to the clan hall. Bai Yiming, seeing their somewhat haggard state, said gently, "You've worked hard." Feeling a mix of surprise and honor, they quickly replied, "Patriarch, you flatter us. It was our duty. Keep the 3 9th-rank beasts for the sacrifice. You can split the remaining 2 9th-rank ones and distribute the rest among the clan members." Bai Yiming made his arrangements. The 3 9th-rank beasts were of course meant for the ancestral spirit. The rest were to be shared amongst the clan. In these chaotic times, mere survival was a struggle, and the luxury of a full belly and warm clothes was a distant dream. To receive a portion of the savage ox meat was a tremendous blessing for the Bai clan members. However, Bai Yuan and the others were somewhat dissatisfied. They had hoped to get their hands on the 9th rank meat, but not only were they denied that the share they did receive was disappointingly small. Though they harbored resentment, they were too intimidated by Yiming to voice their complaints, swallowing their anger in silence. After dismissing the crowd, Bai Yiming and his wife, Bai Wu, began their ritual to honor the ancestral spirit. Now that the ancestral spirit had reawakened, the fewer who knew of it the better. Bai Yiming no longer summoned the entire clan for the ceremony, as he had before. With a thunderous roar, the 3 9th-rank savage oxen were absorbed by the colossal stone. Su Qingshan felt a wave of warmth wash over him, a sensation of profound comfort. He channeled the sacrificial energy into the sheep talisman, which was the next seal he intended to break. He harbored a premonition that once all 12 talismans were unsealed, he would find a chance to break free. After the sacrifice, the stone remained unchanged, yet Bai Yiming and his companions showed no disappointment, bowing respectfully before taking their leave. In the days that followed, Bai Wu and his wife continuously led the clan to hunt ferocious beasts. Each hunt yielded varying amounts, but the majority of the spoils were offered to the ancestral spirit. Having been purified and strengthened by Su Qingshan, Bai Wu and his wife's talents were immensely enhanced. In just half a year, they broke through to the late 9th rank stage, their cultivation speed advancing at an almost unbelievable pace. Chieftain, the quinquennial spirit field contest is about to begin. This time, our Bai family village must secure more spirit fields. Surrounding the village were 6 others, all vying for control of a 50-acre plot of spirit land. Spirit fields could cultivate spirit rice and various spiritual herbs, making their value incalculable and a prize coveted by all 6 villages. In the past, battles over these fields had led to countless deaths and injuries, turning the villages into bitter, irreconcilable enemies. Eventually, the villages realized the endless conflict was unsustainable and agreed to settle the dispute once every 5 years. Each village was entitled to 6 acres of spirit field as its inalienable property, leaving the remaining 14 acres as the contested prize. The allocation of these 14 acres was to be decided through displays of strength. Of course, even the mightiest village could only claim up to 5 acres, never the entire 14. As the contest approached, the members of Bai family village were eager and restless. They knew that Bai Yiming's breakthrough to the 8th rank made him the undisputed strongest expert in the region, and victory seemed all but assured. Old 9, how goes the task I entrusted to you? Though the spirit field contest was a major event, Bai Yiming was confident of the outcome and focused his attention instead on managing clan affairs. Rest assured, chieftain, the man known as Baijan no longer exists in this world. After Baijan's cultivation was crippled and he was banished from the village, Bai Yiming had no intention of letting him live. However, if Baijan had died immediately after his exile, it would have raised suspicions among the clan. So Bai Yiming allowed him to live for a time, only now having him eliminated without a trace. You have also broken through to the 9th rank. Do not be complacent and do not disappoint the ancestral spirit. Bai Yiming was pleased, but still took the opportunity to counsel Bai Jiao. Su Qingshan was never stingy with those who believed in him. He helped them purify their marrow and enhance their talents. As these followers grew stronger, they could in turn empower him, a mutually beneficial arrangement. The strength of Bai family village had soared. With 15 9th rank cultivators, their power was now considerable in this remote frontier region. Soon the spirit field contest arrived. Bai Yiming led Bai Wu to the location of the spirit fields, where representatives from the other 5 villages had already gathered. Haha, brother Bai, congratulations on your breakthrough to the 8th rank. Truly a cause for celebration. Brother Bai, still vigorous and strong at your age, we are all quite envious. Brother Bai, congratulations. The village chiefs greeted him with smiles, offering their congratulations as if they themselves had achieved the breakthrough. A pack of old foxes, Bai Yiming muttered inwardly. These men who led their own villages were all seasoned and cunning, not one of them to be underestimated. Thank you, everyone. It was merely a stroke of luck. Bai Yiming responded to each in turn, without letting his new rank go to his head. Everyone, since Brother Bai has already broken through to the 8th rank, there should be no objections to Bai family village taking first place in this contest, right? Lu Yidao, the chief of Lu family village, was the first to speak. His words were met with nods of agreement from the others. The gap between the 9th and 8th ranks was insurmountable, and none considered themselves a match for Bai Yiming. As for whether Bai Yiming had truly broken through the aura he released left no room for doubt. Since Bai family village has secured first place, I declare second place for my Lu family village. If anyone disagrees, feel free to test my blade. As he spoke, Lu Yidao brandished his large saber, which gleamed with a cold, ominous light. Coupled with his fierce bearing, no one dared to challenge him. Lu family village had always been the strongest among the 6, and only Bai Yiming's breakthrough had eclipsed them. With no challengers, they claimed second place. The remaining 4 villages were evenly matched, but after a series of contests, a hierarchy emerged. Wang family village took 3rd, Li family village 4th, Zhang family village 5th, and Small fishing village 6th. As the spirit field contest concluded, the crowd did not depart in haste. Instead, a cloud of worry hung over them. Wang Chang, the chief of Wang family village, spoke with concern. The ferocious tiger stronghold has been burning, killing, and looting across the land. Many villages have already fallen victim. I hope they don't set their sights on us. The ferocious tiger stronghold was a notorious and vicious bandit lair filled with desperate outlaws who lived by robbery and plunder. They had been suppressed by the county town years ago and laid low for a time, but recently, they had resurfaced, striking again and spreading fear throughout the region. Doesn't the Qingyun sect do anything about this? We pay them so many spirit stones every year, and this is how they protect us. The crowd was indignant. The Qingyun sect was a major power in Linen Prefecture, and these villages fell under its jurisdiction administered by Qingshi County. Every year they were required to pay the sect 100 spirit stones in exchange for protection. Yet the sect took the stones, but rarely fulfilled their duty, a source of long-standing grievance among the villages. The entire Linen Prefecture was now plagued by bandits and war, with people displaced and suffering. Bai family village, with its population of several thousand, was considered a strong village and could barely manage to survive. But smaller villages of only a few hundred or 1,000 people had no means to defend themselves, and many had already been destroyed. The Qingyun sect never even inquired, leaving a bitter chill in the hearts of the people. It's better to rely on ourselves than on others. The Qingyun sect is unreliable. We must depend on our own strength. Bai Yiming spoke up, his voice grave. We should unite. If any one of us is attacked by the ferocious tiger stronghold, the other 5 villages must send reinforcements immediately. Bai Yiming sought to combine the strength of all 6 villages to overcome this crisis. Together, they numbered over 10,000 people with dozens of 9th-rank cultivators. Even if the ferocious tiger stronghold came, they would have a fighting chance. Brother Bai speaks wisely. Indeed, that is the proper course. Well said. All present unanimously agreed to Bai Yiming's proposal, resolving to unite and face the coming trials together. Upon returning to Bai family village, Bai Yiming immediately arranged for people to occupy and tend to the allocated spirit fields. Spirit fields could grow spirit rice, which was imbued with abundant spiritual energy. Regular consumption not only accelerated cultivation speed, but also subtly transformed one's constitution over time. Unfortunately, spirit fields were scarce, and even Bai Yiming, as the clan leader, could not afford to eat spirit rice at every meal. Most of the village's spirit rice was sold to procure spirit stones, which were used to cover clan expenses and pay tribute to the Qingyun sect. The times are turbulent. I must personally travel to Sanshur town to sell the spirit rice and procure some weapons. The Linen Prefecture was growing increasingly chaotic, and Bai family village needed to bolster its strength. Since the clan members' cultivation could not be elevated in a short time, purchasing weapons was the only viable option to enhance their combat prowess. Clan leader, allow me to go. You should remain to guard the village. Bai Wu volunteered, unwilling to let Bai Yiming overexert himself. You've been tirelessly hunting savage beasts. You've earned a period of rest. Take this time to recuperate. Bai Yiming declined Bai Wu's offer, as the couple had already endured much hardship, and it was only fitting they take a respite. A sudden rumble echoed from within the great stone as the sheep talisman finally broke free from its seal. Su Qingshan, who had been waiting eagerly, immediately harnessed the power of the sheep talisman, his soul instantly departing his physical body. What is this? To his astonishment, his soul manifested as a majestic dragon. At last I can leave this stone. Su Qingshan soared out of the clan's sacred grounds, intent on roaming the heavens. Yet his elation was short-lived, as a piercing pain lanced through his soul, heralding a fatal crisis. Not good. Su Qingshan hastily retreated into his body, finding relief only upon returning. The sheep talisman allows me to leave my body, but I cannot venture far, and there is a strict time limit. After multiple attempts, Su Qingshan discovered that his soul's range of activity was limited to a 5-kilometer radius centered on the great stone, and he could only remain outside his body for 1 shurchen before he was compelled to return. No, I need more sacrifices. To fully break free, Su Qingshan required more offerings and had to find a way to strengthen the Bai clan's power. Under the silver moonlight in the dead of night, a phantom dragon slipped into Bai Yiming's dreams. Shortly after falling asleep, Bai Yiming felt his thoughts drift away, pulled by an unknown force into a strange realm. Transported to a vast, desolate expanse, Bai Yiming's pupils contracted, his heart seized with awe. He immediately prostrated himself and said with reverence, Bai Yiming of the Bai clan pays homage to the ancestral spirit. Gazing upon the divine dragon coiling above him, Bai Yiming was filled with boundless veneration. This was the ancestral spirit that the Bai clan had worshipped for generations. Go and procure some damaged weapons and elixirs, and bring them before me. The dragon's voice carried supreme authority, commanding Bai Yiming to acquire the broken items. Bai Yiming obeys. The dragon vanished, the dream shattered, and Bai Yiming immediately woke with a start. Was it a dream? But why did it feel so real? Bai Yiming was unsettled, his mind racing. Better to believe it than to dismiss it. I shall journey to Sanshur town tomorrow. Unwilling to regard the dream as ordinary, Bai Yiming took it as a sign from the ancestral spirit and resolved to follow its instructions. At dawn the next day, Bai Yiming led the contingent from Bai family village, setting out for Sanshur town. The journey would take 3 days, and they would have to endure the elements along the way. A day after leaving the village, the group's spirits grew heavy. This path was familiar, once dotted with small hamlets, but now they were desolate and lifeless, with bleached bones visible among the ruins. These villages have been ravaged. I pray that Bai family village can avoid such a fate. The settlements had been destroyed, their inhabitants left to rot in the open, many of them the elderly, women, and children. The sight was profoundly sorrowful. The group marched in grim silence, yet their sense of belonging to the clan grew ever stronger. In such a chaotic world where human life was as fragile as grass, the strength of the clan was paramount to survival. Without the clan to shield them from the storms of fate, they could scarcely hope to survive. It was only upon nearing Sanshur town that they finally saw inhabited villages again and felt the warmth of human existence. Sanshur town was one of the 5 major towns in Qingshi County, formidable in its own right. Even the ferocious tiger stronghold dared not provoke it lightly, and the villages under its protection enjoyed considerably greater safety. Anyone buying savage beast meat, grade 9 spirit herbs for sale. Come and see fair prices for all. Weapons of every description available. Step right up. Upon entering Sanshur town, the streets were bustling with activity, filled with the clamor of vendors hawking their wares. The members of Bai family village navigated the familiar paths to a particular shop. Shopkeeper, we have spirit rice to sell. Seeing the Bai family contingent, the portly Wang Yongfu waddled out, his face wreathed in smiles. He had dealt with Bai family village for years, and they were well acquainted. Gentlemen here to sell spirit rice again, I see. The village always sold its spirit rice and beast carcasses to the Yong'an Chamber of Commerce, and Wang Yongfu was its manager in Sanshur town. The Yong'an Chamber of Commerce, originating from Linen Prefecture, was a major enterprise known for its fair prices and substantial capital. It could absorb all of Bai family village's produce, making it their preferred trading partner. After inspecting the spirit rice, Wang Yongfu stated his price. I can offer 300 spirit stones for this batch. Is that acceptable? 300 spirit stones seemed like a considerable sum, but it represented the entirety of Bai family village's hard work for a year. Of that amount, 100 stones were owed to the Qingyun sect, leaving the clan with precious little to spare. That's acceptable. Bai Yiming agreed to the price, and the transaction was swiftly concluded. Rather than leaving the Yong'an Chamber of Commerce, Bai Yiming decided to purchase some damaged elixirs and weapons. A short while later, Bai Yiming purchased 3 damaged grade 9 weapons and 3 waste grade 8 elixirs, spending over 500 spirit stones. The group then sold all their remaining resources, mostly herbs and beast pelts. After acquiring some daily necessities, their mission was complete. Let's head back. With nearly all their spirit stones spent, Bai Yiming and his party did not linger in Sanshur town and promptly began their journey back to Bai family village. Midway through their return, they spotted a group of people and immediately readied their weapons. Crack! Hurry up! Stop playing dead. We must make it back to the stronghold today, so move it. A group of fierce-looking men was binding hundreds of villagers, some of whom were being dragged along by horses. These men with murderous intent lashed out at the villagers, brutally killing those who stumbled and could not rise. Boss, there's a group up ahead. Should we engage? At that moment, the men from the ferocious tiger stronghold also spotted the Bai family party. The dozens of able-bodied men from the Bai family village, bolstered by 3 9th-grade cultivators, and the commanding presence of Bai Yiming, were more than a match for the tiger's stronghold bandits before them. Boom! Bai Yiming proactively unleashed the aura of his 8th-grade cultivation, displaying his power to deter the tiger's stronghold raiders. Though they did not fear the bandits, they also had no desire to engage them in battle. A fight would not only lead to needless casualties, but would also invite the vengeance of the tiger's stronghold, a loss far outweighing any gain. What a nuisance an 8th-grade master is here. Let's not bother with them. We're leaving. Upon witnessing the strength of the Bai family village, the tiger stronghold group dared not attack, choosing to keep their distance. Help me, please help me. Please, I beg you, save me. Please save my child. Seeing that the tiger stronghold men dared not move against the Bai family group, the captured villagers, as if grasping at their last lifeline, cried out desperately to them for salvation. Regrettably, the Bai family members remained unmoved, plunging the captives into despair. The Bai family dared not intervene. Their only capability was self-preservation, and they certainly would not risk bringing trouble upon themselves. Thud! A pleading villager was slain by a tiger stronghold bandit, his head severed and landing heavily on the ground as blood gushed forth. No one can save you. The Tiger Stronghold men acted with brutal efficiency, executing 5 of the pleaders in an instant. This gruesome display cowed the other villagers into fearful silence. The Bai family group remained on high alert throughout, making no move until the Tiger Stronghold men had completely departed. Only then did they resume their journey. The return trip was uneventful, and they soon arrived back at Bai family village. Bai Yiming dismissed the others, and after carefully ensuring no one was around, approached Su Qingshan with cautious steps. He placed the purchased weapons and pills before the giant stone and knelt down, saying, "Ancestral spirit, I have procured the damaged weapons and waste pills as you commanded. Please instruct me on what to do next." Suddenly, a mysterious force infused the weapons and pills, giving rise to a shocking spectacle. The broken weapons were restored to their former glory, and the waste pills transformed into potent, pristine medicines. This. Bai Yiming was rendered speechless with awe, his heart pounding violently. After a moment, having regained his composure, Bai Yiming knelt once more and declared, "Thank you, ancestral spirit. The Bai clan will go through fire and water for you, and will not shrink from death." Witnessing Su Qingshan's unfathomable abilities, Bai Yiming expressed his gratitude once more. Then he collected the restored weapons and pills, his heart burning with excitement as he departed. If the ancestral spirit possesses such formidable power, could I perhaps gather broken divine weapons and pills on a larger scale? Bai Yiming's heart raced with ambition. The price of a damaged weapon was incomparable to that of a pristine one. A flawless 9th grade weapon cost at least 500 spirit stones, and the better ones could command over 1,000. However, a damaged 9th grade weapon lost the vast majority of its value, not even reaching a tenth of the original price. The disparity was immense, and the same held true for pills. If he could diligently gather broken weapons and pills, and have the ancestral spirit restore them, the potential profit would be staggering enough to elevate the Bai clan to prominence and prosperity. No, the ancestral spirit's intervention is an immense blessing. I must not be greedy. Bai Yiming suppressed this ambitious thought, recognizing that the ancestral spirit's aid was a tremendous grace, not to be taken for granted. Subsequently, Bai Yiming summoned Bai Wu and Lu Ruashi. "Patriarch, what is your command for us?" Looking upon the couple, Bai Yiming felt a sense of deep satisfaction. Compared to his own disappointing son and disobedient grandson, he held these two in much higher regard, even considering grooming Bai Wu as the next clan leader. "These 2 swords are for you." Bai Yiming presented the pair of restored 9th grade swords to the couple. A superior weapon could fully unleash a cultivator's power. A 9th grade weapon was already quite formidable, and many 8th grade cultivators did not even possess one. "Patriarch, these are far too precious. We cannot accept them." Bai Wu and his wife were diligent and devoted, always prioritizing the clan's welfare. Despite being offered 2 9th grade weapons, they did not immediately claim them, but instead politely declined. "These were bought for you. Please take them." Hearing this, the couple could no longer refuse, and bowed respectfully, saying, "Thank you, Patriarch." After they accepted the weapons, Bai Yiming produced a pill and handed it to Bai Wu. "This is an 8th grade vitality pill. It can help one break through to the 8th grade realm. Take it soon and strive for the breakthrough." Bai Yiming intended to keep one of the 2 pills for himself and give the other to Bai Wu. Bai Wu was about to refuse, but Bai Yiming interjected, "Linen Prefecture is fraught with danger, and a great upheaval is imminent. For our village to survive this crisis, we need more strength. Your swift breakthrough will aid me and the entire clan." After hearing Bai Yiming's words, Bai Wu swallowed his objections. His eyes gleamed with determination, resolved to achieve the 8th grade realm and not let his patriarch down. After the couple departed, Bai Yiming consumed his pill, hoping to break through. Huff! After a night of cultivation, Bai Yiming exhaled a turbid breath and murmured, still unable to reach the mid-stage. Bai Yiming was a hair's breadth away from the mid-8th grade stage, but couldn't quite make the leap. Yet he was on the verge and could break through at any moment. Good news soon arrived. Bai Wu had successfully broken through to the 8th grade realm. However, only the couple and Bai Yiming knew of this. Bai Wu's breakthrough was kept a secret to be used as a hidden card. Subsequently, Bai Wu and his wife led the clan members into the great wilderness for hunting, returning with a large bounty of offerings for the ancestral spirit. In the dead of night, Bai Yiming was once again transported to an unknown realm. Bai Yiming pays his respects to the ancestral spirit. He immediately prostrated himself in deep reverence before Su Qingshan. At the next sacrifice, bring all the clan members. Su Qingshan intended to assess the loyalty of the Bai clan members to determine his next course of action. Bai Yiming obeys the ancestral spirit's command. The dream shattered, and Bai Yiming woke with a start as before, but this time, he was filled with excitement and immediately set about fulfilling Su Qingshan's instructions. 3 days later, a grand sacrifice was held, and all clan members were required to attend. The ancestral hall could not accommodate such a crowd, so many had to stand outside, creating a crowded and bustling scene. Why would the patriarch call for a grand sacrifice and require all of us to come? I see no need for these rituals. It would be better to use these offerings to train our clansmen. The patriarch is good in many ways, but his insistence on worshipping the ancestral spirit is hard to comprehend. Many clan members disapproved of the sacrificial rites, but Bai Yiming's word was law, and with the support of Bai Wu and his wife no one dared to oppose him. The sacrificial rite proceeded in an orderly manner, while Su Qingshan observed the thousands of Bai clan members gathered below. The heads of the thousands of clansmen shimmered with 4 distinct colors. The first was a fervent red like that of Bai Wu and his wife, or Bai Yiming, devout followers who worshipped him with absolute reverence. The second was a cool cyan. These clansmen held a certain awe for the ancestral spirit, yet they were not fanatically loyal. The third was a neutral white. To them the ancestral spirit was inconsequential, neither revered nor resented. The last was a sinister black. These individuals harbored ill intentions towards the ancestral spirit, even seething with hatred. Bai Yunfei, Bai Yiming's own grandson, was among them. As Su Qingshan scrutinized the crowd, the ceremony swiftly drew to a close. The rite is concluded. You may disperse. The Bai clansmen departed hastily, for there was much to be done. With the moon at its zenith, Su Qingshan once more entered Bai Yiming's dreamscape. I pay my respects to the ancestral spirit. Bai Yiming prostrated himself in a grand salute. Bring these individuals before me and nurture them with great effort henceforth. A golden decree descended before Bai Yiming, inscribed with the names of nearly 50 Bai clansmen. Bai Yiming received the decree with utmost care, scrutinizing the names upon it. At that moment, Su Qingshan released another decree stating, these people require special vigilance. They harbor treacherous thoughts and must never be granted any authority. Upon hearing this, Bai Yiming's heart jolted. He hastily examined the second decree. When he saw Bai Yunfei's name listed upon it, his pupils constricted, and a profound disappointment was etched across his face. Bai Yiming shall obey the ancestral spirit's command. Even though Bai Yunfei was his own grandson, he would not tolerate such disloyalty, for such was the will of the ancestral spirit. At dawn the next day, Bai Yiming acted swiftly, summoning dozens of clansmen to the clan hall. Why has the patriarch summoned us so suddenly? Ask no more questions, you will know soon enough. Murmurs of confusion rippled through the assembled clansmen, none knowing why Bai Yiming had called them forth. Only when all had arrived did Bai Yiming step before the assembly. Greetings, patriarch. Greetings, patriarch. Greetings, patriarch. Since Bai Yiming's breakthrough to the 8th rank, his prestige had grown immensely, and most clansmen regarded him with a degree of fear. Follow me. Bai Yiming led the way, and the group hastened to follow. They arrived before the colossal stone monolith where Bai Yiming commanded, kneel and pay homage to the ancestral spirit. Even before his words faded, he had already prostrated himself. The others followed suit, offering grand salutes to Su Qingshan. As devout believers, they knelt willingly and with heartfelt sincerity. Su Qingshan immediately channeled the power of the horse talisman, healing their chronic ailments, cleansing their marrow, and elevating their innate cultivation aptitude. What is happening? My injuries are healed. What sorcery is this? I feel I am on the verge of a breakthrough. How miraculous. I feel a gentle force flowing through my body. The clansmen could clearly perceive the transformation within themselves, exclaiming in astonishment. Silence. This is a gift from the ancestral spirit. You must not make a clamor. Bai Yiming declared in a booming voice. At these words, the crowd understood that the ancestral spirit had manifested and bestowed his blessings upon them. Their eyes burned with fervor as they gazed upon the stone, their hearts filled with even greater piety. After half an hour, the process of marrow cleansing concluded. Su Qingshan was utterly exhausted. Were it not for the continuous sacrifices offered by the Bai clan, which had granted him a modicum of power, he could not have used the horse talisman on dozens of individuals simultaneously. Afterwards, the group once more kowtowed respectfully to Su Qingshan. Bai Yiming then instructed them. The manifestation of the ancestral spirit is the clan's highest secret. You must not breathe a word of it to anyone, lest I personally take action to purge this clan of traitors. Upon hearing Bai Yiming's stern warning, the clansmen immediately pledged, rest assured, patriarch. Even if it costs us our lives, we will not divulge a single detail of this matter. Bai Yiming nodded with satisfaction. You have received the ancestral spirit's blessing. From this day forth you must cultivate diligently and never disappoint the grace bestowed upon you. With their innate talents enhanced, these individuals were destined to become the pillars of the Bai clan. They would be nurtured with the utmost care. Bai Yiming made arrangements for them as well. Henceforth they were relieved of all clan duties and were to devote themselves entirely to cultivation, with the clan's resources preferentially allocated to their needs. Jingxiu we must cultivate with all our might, so that we may contribute to the clan and repay the ancestral spirit's immense kindness. Inside the clan hall, a dozen or so youths were cultivating with relentless intensity, sweat pouring down their faces, each yearning to break through to the 9th rank and serve their family. Of course, I feel I will soon break through to the 9th rank. Bai Shanghuai's gaze was resolute. He had recently felt a surge of energy coursing through his body. The moment he could expel that energy from his body, he would become a ninth-rank cultivator. What? I won't be left behind. Bai Jingxiu was startled, said no more, and devoted himself to his cultivation with even greater fervor, refusing to fall behind Bai Shanghuai. Yunfei looked at Bai Jingxiu and the others. They do nothing, yet they receive abundant resources for cultivation. It's utterly infuriating. The preferential treatment of Bai Jingxiu and his cohort stirred resentment among many, especially among the younger generation. Bai Yunfei's expression was grim. As the patriarch's own grandson with cultivation talent surpassing that of Bai Jingxiu and the others, he had never enjoyed such privileges. Resentment burned fiercely within him. Enough. This is the patriarch's decision. Would you dare to question him? Though they felt the injustice, none dared to oppose Bai Yiming. Bai Yunfei still shuddered at the memory of Bai Yiming's icy glare. He did not know when his grandfather, who had always doted on him, had become so cold and distant, filling him with dread. Fine then. We'll go hunting in the great wilderness ourselves. Without the clan's support, we can still make our own way. This group was at a rebellious age, arrogant, fearless, believing themselves invincible, and that no challenge could stand in their way. All right, let's go hunt the great wilderness. After much discussion, they resolved to venture into the great wilderness to hunt ferocious beasts, hoping to earn the clan's admiration. Ideals are beautiful, but reality is cruel. Of the dozen or so who set out, only 5 returned alive, and every one of them was wounded. Only then did they realize their own helplessness and folly. Without the clan's protection, they lacked even the right to survive. Their foolhardy expedition was nothing short of a death wish. The incident caused quite a stir in Bai family village. Subsequently, Bai Yiming decreed that no clan member was permitted to hunt in the great wilderness without his explicit permission. This incident was but a minor episode, and it did not impede the village's development. The Bai clan planted spirit rice in their spiritual fields, tending to them meticulously in hopes of a bountiful harvest the following year. Bai Jingxiu and the others cultivated tirelessly, striving to break through to the next realm as soon as possible to alleviate the clan's burdens. As time flowed and seasons shifted, 2 months swiftly passed. Bai Jingxiu, Bai Shanghuai, Bai Qiuyan, and 4 others successfully broke through to the 9th rank, greatly bolstering the strength of the Bai clan. They had already begun following Bai Wu on hunts in the great wilderness, bringing back copious offerings. A thunderous rumble echoed as a lone rider sped towards Bai family village from beyond its borders. I am Zhang Yang from Zhang family village, requesting an audience with clan leader Bai. The man atop the horse shouted repeatedly. Zhang Yang was swiftly escorted to the clan hall. Upon seeing Bai Yiming, he immediately knelt and pleaded, "Clan leader Bai, Zhang family village is under attack by the tiger stronghold. I beg you to send aid." The gathered elders stirred in alarm. The tiger stronghold had finally come. "Rise. Bai family village will not stand idly by. Do you know how many men they have deployed?" Bai Yiming would never refuse to help, but knowing oneself and one's enemy was crucial. He needed to assess the strength the tiger stronghold had committed to formulate an accurate response. Zhang Yang hastily replied, "Clan leader Bai, they have sent over 300 men, all elite cultivators. Among them are 16 9th rank practitioners." Upon learning the tiger stronghold's strength, Bai Yiming commanded, "Bai Wu immediately lead Bai Yuan, Bai Feng, Bai Huang, Bai Jingxiu, Bai Qiuyan, Bai Shanghuai, and the others to reinforce Zhang family village." "As you command." The named individuals stepped forward in unison. As 9th rank cultivators, they formed a formidable force capable of turning the tide of battle. They mounted the village's horses and rode out at full speed. Simultaneously, the other 4 villages received Zhang family village's distress call and dispatched their own reinforcements without delay. Kill them all. The grain, spirit stones, and women are ours. The tiger stronghold bandits were ruthless killers, and many villagers had already fallen to their blades. Fight them with everything we've got. We cannot let them into the village. Zhang Hai, the village chief, led the villagers in a desperate resistance. They knew exactly what would happen if the bandits breached their homes. There was no choice but to fight. Though they held the numerical advantage, their individual strength was far inferior, and villagers continued to fall into pools of blood. Hold the line. Reinforcements will be here soon. If they could endure, the aid from the other 5 villages would arrive, and they still had hope. Slaughter them. The tiger stronghold pressed the villagers back step by step, on the verge of breaking into the village. Kill. Zhang Hai, his hair bristling with fury, charged like a provoked beast. Though old and weary, he was still a late 9th rank cultivator. In a desperate fight, even the tiger stronghold's leader had to tread carefully. "Mother, I'm scared." "Wah, brother. Mother, they killed father." Inside the village, the elderly women and children huddled together, trembling and wailing. With the tiger stronghold attacking, they were powerless, able only to pray that Zhang Hai and the others could repel the enemy. A dull thud echoed as blood sprayed. After a prolonged battle, Zhang Hai's strength waned. Leader Lu struck him in the chest, sending him staggering back as he coughed up blood. "Old fool, die." Glancing at the wound on his arm, Leader Lu flew into a rage. It was a wound Zhang Hai had inflicted in his desperate struggle. I have done all I could. Zhang Hai had no strength left to resist, watching helplessly as Leader Lu's blade descended. Village chief. No. Save the chief. The other villagers, their eyes burning with rage, tried to rush to his aid. Worry about yourselves first. All the villagers were blocked, unable to reach Zhang Hai. At that critical moment, a sword blade interposed itself before him, deflecting the descending saber. Clang. The clash of steel sent sparks flying. Stand down. Bai Wu bellowed, unleashing a surge of power that sent Leader Lu flying backward. Who are you people? Dare to oppose my tiger stronghold? Leader Lu's arm went numb and lost sensation. The tiger head emblem on his armor cracked, oozing blood. That single exchange was enough to reveal Bai Wu's overwhelming power. Knowing he was no match, he immediately invoked the tiger stronghold's name, hoping its fearsome reputation would intimidate them. Swish. Ignoring Leader Lu's threat, Bai Wu's figure blurred into motion. His sword sought out the man's vital points, each strike aimed to kill. Damn it. Leader Lu had no choice but to brace himself and meet the attack. Bai Wu had already broken through to the 8th rank, and his sword was a 9th rank weapon. Within a few exchanges, Leader Lu was backed into a corner. You're an 8th rank cultivator. Leader Lu was terrified. The fact that this man could effortlessly overpower him, a late 9th rank cultivator, meant he had to be an 8th rank expert. In that moment of distraction, Bai Wu's sword flashed. Leader Lu's head was severed, soaring through the air, his expression frozen in eternal shock. Leader Lu is dead. Run! The leader has fallen, everyone flee. Seeing their leader slain, the remaining tiger stronghold bandits scattered in panic. They were a motley crew, fierce-looking only when raiding together. They fought boldly when they held the advantage, but would abandon each other and flee at the first sign of trouble. Pursue them. Kill them all. The Zhang family villagers were consumed by fury, demanding blood for blood, refusing to let the bandits escape so easily. Bai Jingxiu cut down a fleeing bandit with a single stroke. Instead of feeling any discomfort from his first kill, he felt his blood race with excitement. Kill. He gave chase, immediately slaying 3 more in quick succession. The more he killed, the more frenzied he became, charging ahead at the very front line. Bai Qiuyan and Bai Shanghuai fared far worse than Bai Jingxiu. Their first kills left their stomachs churning with nausea and discomfort. While cutting down enemies, Bai Wu kept a watchful eye on the battlefield, ready to intervene the moment Bai Qiuyan or the others found themselves in danger. Bai Yiming had sent them here not just for reinforcement, but also to acclimate them to the horrors of war, preparing them for the great battles to come. With an 8th rank cultivator like Bai Wu watching over them, they were perfectly safe. Kill. Brothers of Zhang family village, we're here. Cut them down. Reinforcements from the other 4 villages arrived, encircling the remaining tiger stronghold bandits. Flee. The bandits had no will to fight, scattering in blind panic, which only handed Bai Jingxiu and the others easy targets. The battle ended swiftly. Only a dozen or so bandits escaped. The rest were utterly annihilated. Clean up the battlefield and burn the bodies. After the fighting ceased, the victors stripped the fallen bandits of anything useful before consigning their corpses to the flames, preventing any outbreak of disease. Though the fierce tiger stronghold was repelled, a pall of gloom still hung over Zhang family village, weighing heavily on every heart. The battle had claimed dozens of their able-bodied men and 2 9th-rank cultivators, while Zhang Hai himself lay severely wounded, unable to engage in combat. Zhang family village was crippled and would need a long time to recover. But would the fierce tiger stronghold grant them that time? Having suffered such grievous losses at Zhang family village, the fierce tiger stronghold would never let the matter rest. They would soon return in force, and when they did, it would spell utter annihilation for Zhang family village. Old Zhang, what are your plans from here? Lu Yidao asked Zhang Hai about the village's next steps, feeling a sense of shared doom as he witnessed their calamity. Since the fierce tiger stronghold had already found this place, all 6 villages were their targets, and Zhang family village was merely the beginning. Alas, our village has suffered such a catastrophe, and this old man is at a complete loss, uncertain of what to do. Zhang Hai's face was pale. He too had no idea how to lead Zhang family village forward. After a moment of deep thought, Lu Yidao spoke. If you are willing, you may temporarily seek refuge in my Lu family village. Once the crisis with the fierce tiger stronghold has passed, you may return at any time. Lu Yidao's willingness to temporarily shelter Zhang family village was not without his own considerations. Though Zhang family village was badly weakened, the remaining strength they possessed was not to be underestimated. Once they entered Lu family village, they could join forces to resist the fierce tiger stronghold, bolstering Lu family village's own power. Zhang Hai pondered for a moment, then said, "Very well, we will trouble you then." He had no better choice. Staying here meant certain death, while heading to Lu family village might offer a glimmer of hope. Subsequently, Zhang family village packed up everything they could carry. Had they not harbored thoughts of returning, they would have set the entire village ablaze, leaving nothing of use for the fierce tiger stronghold. Let's head back. Bai Wu and the others quickly returned to Bai family village, reporting the events one by one to Bai Yiming. Bai Wu immediately gathered 30 able-bodied clansmen to form a patrol team. Split them into 3 groups and patrol outside the village day and night, so the fierce tiger stronghold cannot catch us off guard. Bai Yiming issued his orders, determined not to be caught unaware like Zhang family village had been. Also have the clansmen begin reinforcing the earthen walls, immediately preparing to face the fierce tiger stronghold. The village had some earthen walls that could fend off wild beasts and deter outsiders. Though they couldn't stop 9th rank cultivators, they were still effective against ordinary men and should be put to good use. Having arranged everything, Bai Yiming came before the massive stone to attempt a breakthrough to the mid-8th rank. Cultivating beside the ancestral spirit always allowed him to focus without distraction, increasing his chances of breaking through. The fierce tiger stronghold's 3 leaders were all at the 8th rank, and it was rumored that the great leader, Zhao, who was only a hair's breadth away from the 7th rank. To withstand the stronghold's assault, Bai Yiming had to break through to the mid-8th rank. What? The fierce tiger stronghold attacked, and Zhang family village was nearly destroyed. What are we going to do? The fierce tiger's stronghold kills without blinking an eye. If falling into their hands would be worse than death. Can we really hold them off? What's there to fear? If it comes to it, we'll fight to the death. The Bai family village is not a people to be bullied. If they dare to come, we'll make sure they never return. The Bai family village was not lacking in courageous souls. They were already prepared to perish alongside their enemies. Along a winding ridge of the Lianheng Mountains, plumes of cooking smoke rose into the air where a crude stronghold had been built upon the mountain range. Bang! Inside the stronghold's main hall, a man with a face full of brutish flesh and a terrifying sinister scar, a visage fearsome enough to make a crying child fall silent, was flying into a rage. The man slammed his palm down, shattering the table beside him into splinters, and bellowed. Over 300 brothers, all slain in battle, and even Lu Ergu met his end. Is this Zhang family village truly that formidable? Lu Ergu had been at the late 9th rank, accompanied by over a dozen 9th rank cultivators and several hundred trained fighters. That they were nearly wiped out to the last man was a result no one had anticipated. Great leader, we were on the verge of destroying Zhang family village, but Bai family village arrived just in time, and the other villages followed suit. We were outnumbered and fought back desperately, but we couldn't turn the tide. A bandit who had escaped from Zhang family village tearfully recounted the tale, as if they had fought with all their might, and their defeat was not their fault. Big brother, the 6 villages nearby were never easy prey. Such losses are to be expected. At that moment, the second leader, Zhang Bao, spoke up. The 6 villages, including Bai family village, were all large settlements with a certain capacity for self-defense. They simply hadn't anticipated that the other villages would come to Zhang family village's aid so swiftly when it was attacked, which led to Lu Ergu and his entire force being wiped out. The nearby villages have all been plundered clean. If we want to gain anything, we'll have to go after Zhang family village and the others. Do any of you have a good plan? Even with Zhang family village's strength, the fierce tiger stronghold had no intention of backing down. The surrounding villages had been ravaged to the bone. The only way to reap any rewards was to target them. Big brother, we can pick them off one by one, whittling away their strength. When the 6 villages united, even the fierce tiger stronghold dared not underestimate them. A head-on clash would cost them dearly. They could attack one village, and the moment other villages came to its aid, they would immediately withdraw. By constantly sapping the village's strength, they could eventually deliver a fatal blow. Ha ha ha, excellent. I'll leave this matter to you. I'm going into seclusion to break through to the next realm. Zhao, who had initially wanted to lead the assault on the 6 villages himself, but since Xiao Bao already had a plan, he could entrust the matter entirely to him and focus his full attention on his breakthrough. Once he broke through to the 7th rank, he would no longer be confined to this corner of the world and could dominate Qingshi County. Rest assured, big brother, focus on your seclusion. I will extinguish all 6 villages. Zhao Bao was confident, dismissing the 6 villages entirely. Boom! A wave of energy rippled out from Bai Yiming, then quickly subsided as if it had never been. Finally, I've broken through to the mid-8th rank. Now we have the strength to face the fierce tiger stronghold. Having successfully broken through, Bai Yiming was in high spirits. Even if the stronghold attacked, Bai family village now had the power to fight back. As the Bai family village continued their sacrifices, Su Qingshan's seal loosened slightly. The entire village now lay under his divine sense. No whisper of activity could escape his perception. He knew the fierce tiger stronghold was about to attack and pondered how to enhance Bai family village's strength. After much deliberation, he settled on pills and weapons. He was somewhat exasperated with Bai Yiming's foolishness. He had instructed him to purchase damaged weapons and pills, but Bai Yiming had only done so once, and then never again. Su Qingshan was unaware of Bai Yiming's reasoning. Bai Yiming believed that Su Qingshan's earlier intervention was already an immense blessing, and he dared not presume to ask for more. Thus he had refrained from purchasing any further damaged weapons or pills. That night, Su Qingshan once again entered Bai Yiming's dream. Bai Yiming pays respects to the ancestral spirit. No matter how Bai Yiming's power fluctuated, he remained as reverent as ever towards Su Qingshan, venerating him as a deity. Continue purchasing damaged weapons and pills. After giving this instruction, Su Qingshan destroyed the dreamscape. Awakening, Bai Yiming felt his spirit greatly invigorated, all drowsiness dispelled. Could the ancestral spirit's instruction mean he was about to act again? At this thought, he trembled with excitement and decided to send Bai Wu to Sanshire Town. At the first light of dawn, Bai Yiming eagerly sought out Bai Wu. Sell this great blade to the Yong'an Merchant Guild and use all the spirit stones to purchase damaged pills and weapons. Bai Yiming handed over his 9th grade weapon and the remaining 700+ spirit stones of the clan to Bai Wu, instructing him to buy a large quantity of damaged pills and weapons. Patriarch, this. Bai Wu was taken aback by Bai Yiming's orders, puzzled by the decision. Ask nothing. Go swiftly and return swiftly. Hearing this, Bai Wu ceased his questioning and set off with Bai Jingxiu. 2 days after their departure, the ferocious tiger fort attacked Zhang family village once more, only to find it deserted. Damn it, they fled. With the village abandoned, the bandits' fury had no outlet. Burn it all down. The men of ferocious tiger fort set the village ablaze, reducing it to ashes. That's the direction of Zhang family village. What happened? Why such a massive fire? Could the ferocious tiger fort have attacked again? Even in daylight, the fierce conflagration drew the attention of neighboring villages. They suspected the ferocious tiger fort was responsible for the blaze. The people of 5 villages dared not act rashly. The fire raged for a full day and night before gradually dying out. "Ah, ferocious tiger fort, I will be irreconcilable with you." The villagers of Zhang family village, witnessing their home reduced to cinders, burned with rage, eager to fight the ferocious tiger fort to the death. Everyone calm down. The ferocious tiger fort kills without mercy. We are no match for them. The crowd did not lose their senses. A suicidal clash with the ferocious tiger fort would only mean their certain demise. Suddenly, a torrential downpour began to fall. The heavy rain brought relief to everyone. It turned the roads into treacherous mud, hindering the ferocious tiger fort's movements and granting the villages a precious respite. 3 days later, Bai Wu and Bai Jingxiu returned safely to Bai family village. They had ridden horses to Sanshire Town. Had it not been for the rain, they would have returned even sooner. Patriarch, these are 4 8th grade pills and 7 9th grade weapons. Bai Yiming's great blade had sold for 1,000 spirit stones. Combined with the clan's 700, they had purchased 6 pills and 7 weapons. Good, you have worked hard. Go and rest. The two did not question why Bai Yiming wanted damaged weapons and pills. After days without sleep, even as cultivators, they were exhausted and longed for rest. After they left, Bai Yiming immediately went to the giant stone. He bowed respectfully to Su Qingshan, then placed the weapons and pills on the ground with anticipation. Under Bai Yiming's gaze, the 6 pills and 7 weapons were swiftly repaired by a mysterious force. Could this be an 8th grade weapon? Bai Yiming picked up a long spear, overjoyed. It was indeed an 8th grade weapon. Chi recovery pill, vitality pill, antidote pill. Of the 6 pills, 2 were Chi recovery pills, 3 were vitality pills, and 1 was an antidote pill, all of the 8th grade. These 2 vitality pills can go to Bai Wu and his wife. I'll take 1 Chi recovery pill and Bai Wu the other. The rest will be kept for now. The pills and weapons were quickly distributed. Bai Wu and his wife received 2 vitality pills and 1 Chi recovery pill. Lu Ruashi immediately consumed a vitality pill to attempt a breakthrough. After consuming 2 vitality pills, she successfully broke through to the 8th grade. Bai Jingxiu, Bai Shanghuai, Bai Qiuyan, Bai Xinghai, Bai Zhanyun, and Bai Lufeng each received a 9th grade weapon. The Bai family village now boasted 3 8th grade cultivators in Bai Yiming, Bai Wu and his wife, 29 9th grade cultivators, including Bai Jingxiu, and 500 to 600 able-bodied young men. A force not to be underestimated. 7 days later, the ferocious tiger fort struck again, this time targeting Wang family village. After the Zhang family village incident, the villages had posted sentries to patrol their surroundings. Wang family village quickly spotted the ferocious tiger fort's approach and rushed back to raise the alarm. They immediately sent messengers to seek aid from the other villages. Upon receiving the distress call, Bai Wu and his wife, led by Jingxiu and others to reinforce them. Kill. By then, the Wang family village was already awash in blood. Zhao Lang, the 3rd leader of the ferocious tiger fort, was personally leading the assault. As an 8th grade cultivator, he quickly slew 2 9th grade cultivators of the Wang family, leaving none able to oppose him. Ha ha ha, wipe them out. Zhao Lang laughed heartily, a chilling sound. Swish. At that moment, 2 sharp swords flew towards him. Oomph. Zhao Lang grunted, sensing a deadly threat, and moved to block. His own great blade was a 9th grade weapon, and he managed to parry the swords of Bai Wu and his wife. Clang. Clang. The resounding clash of weapons filled the battlefield. Bai Wu and his wife fought with perfect coordination, quickly forcing Zhao Lang onto the back foot. Impossible. How are you 8th grade cultivators? Zhao Lang now regretted his arrogance, recalling Zhao Bao's warning to retreat immediately upon seeing reinforcements from other villages. He had noticed the Bai family's reinforcements earlier, but confident in his own 8th grade cultivation, had dismissed them. Now retreat was no longer an option. Ha ha ha, kill. Bai Jingqiu was born for battle. Once on the battlefield, he transformed, striking with ruthless ferocity, each move aimed to kill. Bai Qiuyan and the others also adapted to the battlefield, performing admirably. Empowered by their 9th grade weapons, ordinary 9th grade cultivators were no match for them. Retreat. Retreat now. Zhao Lang struggled to fend off Bai Wu and his wife, desperately ordering a withdrawal. In a moment of weakness after a clash with Bai Wu, Lu Ruoxi seized the opportunity and severed his left arm with a swift sword strike. Quick! Protect the 3rd leader. Support the 3rd leader. The remaining bandits surged forward, engaging Bai Wu and his wife to cover Zhao Lang's escape. Zhao Lang's status was far above that of a mere squad leader. The 3 leaders of the ferocious Tiger Fort were blood brothers. If Zhao Lang were to die here, all the bandits would be buried with him. Under the desperate resistance of the ferocious Tiger Fort bandits, Zhao Lang was carried away to safety beyond the reach of Bai Wu and his wife. Still, they had managed to slay 4 9th grade cultivators, a significant gain. After leaving behind over 100 corpses, the fierce Tiger Stronghold bandits fled in disgrace, yet a pall of gloom hung over Wang family village. This battle had cost them countless lives, wounding them to the very core. When villagers from other settlements arrived and witnessed the devastating scene, their faces turned grim. Everyone, we cannot continue like this, or the Tiger Stronghold will pick us off one by one. Lu Yidao spoke with a heavy voice. We must consolidate all our strength to stand a chance against the Tiger Stronghold. First Zhang family village, now Wang family village. The next could easily be any one of them. They could not sit idly by waiting for their doom. They had to make a change. But how do we consolidate our strength? Though all agreed with Lu Yidao's proposal, the method of doing so remained a thorny question. Everyone, Lu family village is the largest settlement. You may temporarily relocate there, and once the crisis with the Tiger Stronghold has passed, you can all return home. Lu Yidao intended to offer shelter to the other villages, positioning Lu family village at the center of defense, thus ensuring their safety, even if the Tiger Stronghold launched an attack. Well, very well then. After a moment of deliberation, small fishing village, Enli family village agreed to temporarily move to Lu family village. Elders, our Bai family village has a large population, and we have no intention of relocating. We shall take our leave. Bai Wu and his companions naturally refused to go to Lu family village. While everyone else sought refuge there, temporarily thwarting the Tiger Stronghold's advances, this arrangement was not without its perils. With so many people gathered in Lu family village, no one tending to the fields, they would soon deplete their resources. Once food and clothing ran short, chaos would ensue, and they might collapse from within without the Tiger Stronghold ever laying siege. Upon returning to Bai family village, Bai Wu and the others reported the situation to Bai Yiming. Pay it no mind. Continue your patrols, and give the Tiger Stronghold no opening. Having slain several key figures of the Tiger Stronghold on multiple occasions, Bai family village had certainly earned their enmity. An attack was likely, and they had to remain vigilant. Inside the main hall of the Tiger Stronghold, a physician tended to Zhao Lang's wounds. Zhao Lang let out intermittent screams of agony. His left arm was beyond saving. Second brother, you must avenge me. Seeing Zhao Lang in such a miserable state, Zhao Bao's heart ached with grief and fury. The 3 brothers had lost their parents in childhood and had clung together ever since, their bond unbreakable. To see his brother lose an arm ignited a fury that burned white-hot within Zhao Bao. Rest assured, your second brother will avenge you. Zhao Bao soothed Zhao Lang while his mind raced, plotting his next move against Bai family village. 2 8th-rank cultivators. They won't be easy to deal with. Zhao Bao's eyes flickered with sharp light as he struggled to devise a strategy. Twice they had been repelled with heavy losses. The Tiger Stronghold, which boasted over 1,000 bandits, had seen more than 400 of their number fall in these 2 failed assaults. To deal with Bai family village, they would have to commit their entire force, a gamble too costly to take lightly. We'll wait until the boss emerges from seclusion to decide our next move. Zhao Bao chose prudence and held his position. Just as Bai family village braced for an attack, an unexpected order arrived from the Qingyun sect. The Qingyun sect has sent word ordering us to dispatch forces to assist them in eradicating the Tiger Stronghold. Bai family village received the summons to provide 100 able-bodied men and 3 9th-rank cultivators for the campaign. Chieftain, the Qingyun sect's intervention is a good thing. Even if they can't wipe out the Tiger Stronghold entirely, they'll at least keep them in check for a while. The Tiger Stronghold's reign of slaughter had finally roused the Qingyun sect, who now resolved to eliminate the threat. The Qingyun sect cared little for the lives of the common folk under their rule. However, these villages tied spirit stones to them annually, and the Tiger Stronghold's depredations were severely cutting into their profits. They had no choice but to act. All the surrounding villages received the Qingyun sect's summons and immediately dispatched their forces to answer the call. In Qingyun County Town, a group of young men and women followed an elderly man into the government office, where even the county magistrate bowed and scraped obsequiously before him. Senior brother, this campaign against the Tiger Stronghold is our chance to prove ourselves and make a name. These youths were core disciples of the Qingyun sect, all ninth-rank cultivators. They had accompanied the sect elder to eradicate the Tiger Stronghold, seeking to serve the sect while honing their skills and earning renown. The Tiger Stronghold is a den of vicious, reckless outlaws. We must not underestimate them. The young man at the head, steady and composed, cautioned his companions against complacency. Villages that received the Qingyun sect's command sent their people to Sanshur town awaiting further instructions. 10 days later, thousands had gathered, half of them hailing from Qinshur County. Move out. At the fifth elder's command, the 1,000-strong force began their march. The vast host stretched across the land like a dark tide, an awe-inspiring and formidable sight. Stay close and be careful. Do not wander from my side. By family villages, contingent marched within the column, with Bai Wu personally leading and cautioning his people. The Qingyun sect would lead them deep into the Lianheng Mountains to eradicate the Tiger's stronghold once and for all, a perilous undertaking fraught with danger. The Lianheng Mountains were a vast, untamed wilderness teeming with venomous snakes and insects, lurking beasts, and even fierce monsters. Danger lurked around every corner. They knew nothing of the Lianheng Mountains, while the Tiger Stronghold knew every inch of the terrain. Venturing in to fight them on their home ground put them at a severe disadvantage. The various forces had been conscripted by the Qingyun sect, yet the sect provided none of their supplies. Each force was responsible for its own provisions and needs. Upon entering the Lianheng Mountains, if you spot any sign of the Tiger Stronghold, set off your signal flares immediately. Each squad was issued 3 flare-like devices which, once ignited, could be seen by nearby units, allowing for swift reinforcement. Though filled with dread at the prospect of entering the Lianheng Mountains, none dared defy the Qingyun sect's orders. They filed into the wilderness one after another. In Linan Prefecture, the Qingyun sect was the arbiter of life and death, wielding absolute power over countless souls. No one dared to oppose them. Stay alert and beware of venomous snakes and insects. Bai Wu, a seasoned hunter of the desolate wilds, had faced far harsher environments than the Lianheng Mountains. This terrain held little fear for him, but others were not so fortunate. A single misstep could cost them their lives. Shortly after entering the Lianheng Mountains, many had already been bitten by venomous snakes and insects. Despite their utmost caution, such encounters were unavoidable. Fortunately, most of the conscripts possessed some level of cultivation, so these bites were rarely fatal. Meanwhile, the Tiger Stronghold was also consolidating its forces, preparing for a decisive clash with the Qingyun sect. Ha 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 ha. Suddenly, a burst of hearty laughter echoed through the mountains. Zhao Bao and his men immediately rushed toward the source of the sound. Congratulations, brother, on breaking through to the 7th rank. From now on, you are unmatched within Qingyun County. Sensing the 7th rank aura radiating from Zhao Hu, Zhao Bao and the others were overjoyed. Zhao Hu's breakthrough could not have been more timely. They finally had the confidence to stand against the Qingyun sect. Brother, the Qingyun sect. Zhao Bao immediately recounted everything that had transpired during Zhao Hu's seclusion. What? Third brother's arm was severed. This is unforgivable. Upon hearing that Zhao Lang's arm had been cut off by Bai Wu and his wife, Zhao Hu flew into a thunderous rage, his gaze sharp and predatory, as if he wished to devour someone. Brother, our priority must be dealing with the Qingyun sect's encirclement. We can avenge third brother later. The Qingyun sect was advancing with formidable force, thousands of troops pressing down upon them. They needed to find a way to survive this crisis first. Let the brothers eat and drink their fill, then follow me down the mountain to slaughter these reckless fools. Had he not broken through, Zhao Hu would have been wary of the Qingyun sect. But now, having reached the 7th rank, he had no need for concern. The Lianheng mountain range was their stronghold, and they knew the surrounding terrain like the back of their hands. Though the Qingyun sect's formation was grand and imposing, they could pick them off one by one. After eating and drinking their fill, the entire Tiger Leaping stronghold mobilized, with all 3 leaders personally taking part. In the dense forest, a squad was scouring the area for signs of the stronghold. Suddenly, the bandits of the Tiger Leaping stronghold launched a surprise attack, catching the squad completely off guard. Not good. It's the Tiger Leaping stronghold. Release the signal flare. The squad immediately fired their signal flare, but the trees here were tall and the foliage thick. The flare's sparks couldn't rise above the canopy, making it nearly impossible to be seen. Kill. The bandits of the Tiger Leaping stronghold swung their blades, and it wasn't long before the entire squad of over 100 men was cut down. This squad hailed from a small village, and their 100+ members represented nearly all of its able-bodied young men. With their annihilation, the fate of that village was sealed. As the Tiger Leaping stronghold continued its relentless attacks, over 1,000 enemies were soon eliminated. Some squad signals were spotted, but by the time reinforcements arrived they had already been slaughtered, and the stronghold's bandits had vanished without a trace. As more and more squads were wiped out, the remaining ones grew increasingly terrified, dreading that the tiger-leaping stronghold would strike them next. No more advancing. The Bai family village squad found a hidden spot to take cover. They dared not advance, yet they also feared fleeing the Lianheng mountain range, leaving them in a dilemma. Damn it! Those cowards from the tiger-leaping stronghold only dare to ambush us in the dark, never daring to face us in an honorable battle. The Qingyun sect members were equally at their wits' end. Over 1,000 of their 5,000-strong force had been lost, and they still couldn't track down the tiger-leaping stronghold. At this rate, they'd face complete annihilation. Notify all squads. We retreat. The fifth elder had no choice but to temporarily withdraw from the Lianheng mountain range. Though the other Qingyun sect disciples were reluctant, they dared not defy the fifth elder's command. They had initially believed that following the fifth elder to eradicate the tiger-leaping stronghold would be an easy task that would bring them fame and glory. Little did they expect reality to be so cruel. The tiger-leaping stronghold never gave them a chance for a frontal confrontation, crushing their plans before they could even begin. Upon receiving the Qingyun sect's retreat order, all the other factions felt a tremendous weight lift off their shoulders. Having lived in constant peril and tension over this period, the retreat order came as a reprieve, a pardon for their very lives. Let's leave quickly. Bai Wu, not wanting any unnecessary complications, immediately led the Bai family village members out of the Lianheng mountain range. They got away just in time. The tiger-leaping stronghold noticed the Qingyun sect's retreat, but chose not to pursue, wary of potential ambushes. Meanwhile, within the Bai family hall, Bai Weiyun's body radiated a gentle fluorescent glow, filled with a powerful life force. What is this? A mark of the horse talisman appeared on Bai Weiyun's forehead, flashing briefly before vanishing. Thank you, ancestral spirit grandfather. Weiyun will surely make good use of the power you have bestowed upon me. Bai Weiyun knelt before Su Qingshan and kowtowed with utmost reverence. Su Qingshan had bestowed the horse talisman upon her, granting her control over its power. Su Qingshan had spent considerable time studying the talismans on his body and discovered their distinct nature. Their power was far greater than he had imagined. Moreover, once a talisman was unsealed, he could fully command its power even without physical contact. When he bestowed a talisman upon another, he could with a mere thought seal its power and summon it back to his side. After testing this, Su Qingshan decided to grant the horse talisman to Bai Weiyun. With the young girl mastering the talisman, she could repair weapons and pills and heal their clansmen without his direct intervention. Why not? Boom. After the horse talisman merged with her body, Bai Weiyun unexpectedly broke through to the 9th rank without any prior warning. The sight left Bai Yiming beside her utterly stunned, as if witnessing a miracle. The ancestral spirit's power is unfathomable. Our Bai clan shall surely ascend to the pinnacle of the Huanggu continent. Bai Weiyun had been brought to Su Qingshan after he appeared in Bai Yiming's dreams, commanding him to do so. He bestowed the horse talisman and explained its functions to Bai Yiming and Bai Weiyun, instructing them to use it to develop the clan in the future. Boom. Crack, crack, crack. Suddenly the pig talisman also broke its seal at that moment. Through his observations, Su Qingshan realized that the Bai clan sacrifices only accelerated the talisman's unsealing, having little effect on his own seal. Instead, as the Bai clan grew stronger, their clan's fortune flowed into him, aiding in breaking the seal's power. Understanding this, Su Qingshan had a clear goal in mind. This was why he generously bestowed talismans to hasten the Bai clan's rise. Not long after, Bai Wu and the others returned to Bai family village, their encirclement campaign having ended in failure. Our failure to eradicate the tiger-leaping stronghold puts our Bai family village in grave danger. Having thwarted the stronghold's plans on multiple occasions, the Bai family village was surely marked for revenge. The tiger-leaping stronghold would not let them off easily. Don't disband these 100 men. Form them into a clan guard, train them daily, and provide them with resources. Bai Yiming established a 100-man clan guard which would become the Bai clan's armed force. There's one more matter concerning Weiyun. Bai Yiming told Bai Wu about Su Qingshan's bestowal upon Bai Weiyun. Hearing that his daughter had received a gift from the ancestral spirit filled Bai Wu with even greater excitement than if he had received it himself. Clan chief, I shall head to the great wilderness to hunt tomorrow and make an offering to the ancestral spirit. Bai Wu was an honest and simple man. The ancestral spirit's favor was more than he could ever repay, so he could only hunt more prey as an offering. Though the Qingyun sect failed to eradicate the tiger-leaping stronghold this time, it did force them to lie low for a while. 2 months quickly passed, and Bai family village had developed significantly. The clan guard's training was showing results, and they now possessed a certain level of combat capability. Bai family village acquired a number of damaged weapons and pills which Bai Weiyun restored using the talisman's power. Some were then sold to the Yong'an Merchant Guild, earning a substantial amount of spirit stones. Bai Yiming and the others were cautious, fearing discovery. The weapons they repaired and sold were always disguised and altered. With a thunderous crash, a 9th-rank beast was dropped to the ground, as Bai Jingxiu knelt before Su Qingshan. Ancestral spirit, this is my humble offering. Once my cultivation improves, I shall hunt even mightier beasts for you. For now, please make do with this one. Bai Jingxiu chattered on, heedless of whether Su Qingshan could hear him. This was far from the first offering he had brought. Bai Chuyan, Bai Shanghuai, and other clan members owed their current strength to Su Qingshan's marrow cleansing and revered him as a deity, endlessly hunting beasts to offer and sacrifice. Disaster. The bandits of Tiger Fort are attacking. A frantic cry suddenly echoed through the village, alarming everyone. What? Tiger Fort is here. Quick, prepare for battle. Fight them to the death. As panic gripped Bai family village, Bai Yiming stepped forward to take command, leading the clansmen toward the village entrance. Ancestral spirit enemies approach. I go to face them. At the news of the attack, Bai Jingxiu's eyes turned bloodshot, killing intent radiating from him like a transformed man. Tiger Fort had dispatched over 200 bandits, hardly enough to threaten the village alone. But with Zhao Lang and Zhao Hu leading personally, Zhao Hu alone as 7th-rank cultivator could slaughter them all. When the bandits arrived, Bai Yiming stood at the forefront with Bai Wu and his wife Bai Shanghuai and other cultivators backed by the clan guard and hundreds of able-bodied men. They braced for a desperate fight. Brother, it's them. Avenge me. Spotting Bai Wu and his wife, Zhao Lang's face twisted with hatred. He had lost his left arm, forever crippled for life. A blood debt that could never be settled. Rest assured, I will avenge you. Zhao Hu gazed at the couple as if they were already dead. Kill them all. At Zhao Hu's command, the bandits surged forward. With their leader present, their morale soared to the heavens. Charge! Bai family village fought back without hesitation. Clangs and crashes rang out as over 30 9th-rank cultivators and the clan guard led the assault. Each 9th-rank cultivator wielded a 9th-rank weapon, and the guard wore simple armor with sharp blades. Against 200 bandits, they held their ground, and even began to push back. How is this possible? Zhao Hu was shaken. He never expected the village to field so many cultivators, each armed with a 9th-rank weapon. Even Tiger Fort boasted only a few dozen 9th-rank cultivators, and fewer still with such weapons. How could a mere village possess such wealth of strength? Recovering from his shock, Zhao Hu's eyes gleamed with greed. Destroy this village, and all of it would be his. Ha! Die! Zhao Hu lunged at Bai Yiming like a tiger descending the mountain. Chieftain, beware. Bai Wu and his wife moved swiftly to assist. Bai Yiming's spear was in hand, his aura shifting as he poured all his true qi into it, thrusting toward Zhao Hu. With a clash, spear met sword, sparks flying in a shower of light. Bai Yiming was overwhelmed by Zhao Hu's immense power, spitting blood as he staggered backward. You're not 8th rank. His eyes wide with shock. At the mid-8th rank, armed with an 8th rank spear, even a late 8th rank foe should not have bested him. Yet Zhao Hu had defeated him with a single blow. There was only one explanation: Zhao Hu was no longer 8th rank, but 7th. An 8th rank weapon, is it? You lot are full of surprises. Zhao Hu's arm tingled from the impact, but he paid it no mind, his gaze fixed greedily on the spear in Bai Yiming's hand. Having just broken through to the 7th rank, he lacked a proper weapon. That spear might as well have been forged for him. Chieftain, are you all right? Bai Wu and his wife rushed to Bai Yiming's side, worried for his injuries. I'm fine. He's 7th rank. Be careful. The three braced themselves, fighting as one. But Zhao Hu was fearless. The gap between 7th and 8th rank was vast. Even 3 against 1, he held the advantage. Bai Yiming and his companions were no ordinary fighters, and their coordination managed to hold Zhao Hu back temporarily. But prolonged battles spelled their doom. Elsewhere, the village was winning, having already slain over a dozen bandits. Kill him. Though an 8th rank cultivator, Zhao Lang, missing an arm, could not fully unleash his power. Surrounded by Bai Jingxiu and 4 others, he struggled to gain the upper hand. Die! Bai Jingxiu fought with the most ferocity, his innate divine strength making him the group's spearhead. After prolonged combat, Bai Yiming and his 2 companions were the first to fall, battered and broken, their vital energy fading. You will pay. Zhao Hu stood disheveled, his robes torn, wounds marking his body. The 3 had done considerable damage. He advanced on them like a vengeful specter. But then, a beam of light descended from the heavens, striking toward him. Zhao Hu instinctively raised his sword to block. With a shattering crack, the blade was reduced to dust. The beam, unstoppable in its force, pierced straight through his chest, leaving a gaping, grisly wound. Ah! Zhao Hu screamed in agony. Seizing the moment, Bai Yiming and his companions summoned their last reserves of strength and struck. Their blades and spear plunged into his body, severing his life force. The boss is dead. Run! Flee! Panic seized the bandits. With their leader slain, they scattered in terror, scrambling to escape with their lives. Inside the ancestral hall, Su Qingshan gasped for breath. Channeling the pig talisman's power from afar had taken its toll, but at least Zhao Hu was dead. Don't pursue. Bring the wounded to the ancestral hall immediately. Bai Yiming halted the pursuit, prioritizing the lives of his clansmen. Once the injured were gathered, Bai Weiyun immediately channeled the talisman's power to heal them. This is a miracle. A man whose arm had been severed watched it regrow perfectly under Bai Weiyun's care, leaving everyone in disbelief. Weiyun was blessed by the ancestral spirit, granting her such divine power. Bai Yiming announced, seizing the chance to deepen the clan's reverence. So it's the ancestral spirit's gift. The ancestral spirit is a true god, our god. We must offer even greater sacrifices from now on. Upon learning that Bai Weiyun's ability was bestowed by the ancestral spirit, everyone went into a frenzy, igniting a fervent wave of faith in the ancestral spirit. Under Bai Weiyun's healing, all the wounded recovered completely, and Bai Yiming and his two companions were restored to full health. Weiyun, you've worked hard. Go and rest now. Having healed so many wounded, Bai Weiyun was utterly exhausted, her small face pale. Yet she was quick-witted and immediately activated the power of the talisman to restore herself to full vigor. This sight filled everyone with envy and even sparked fantasies, hoping they too could receive the ancestral spirit's favor. Although this battle had slain Zhao, the Bai family village had also lost over 20 of its people. Such was the cruelty of war. Had Su Qingshan not intervened, in the end the Bai family village would have faced certain annihilation. 3 days later, the village held a grand ritual, giving thanks to the ancestral spirit for saving them. Many had witnessed the beam of light that struck Zhao, who, knowing it was the ancestral spirit's doing, and their reverence for it deepened. Now the thousands of villagers in the Bai family village were nearly all devout followers of Su Qingshan. Even those who had previously harbored malice had changed their attitude, with a hint of green and mostly red aura above their heads. Before long, news of the Bai family village slaying the chief of the ferocious tiger stronghold spread like wildfire, quickly reaching nearby villages and even catching the attention of Sanshur town. The Bai family village actually killed the chief of the ferocious tiger stronghold. Are they really that strong? Good on them. They've finally rid us of that menace. Haha, excellent. Finally someone has avenged my blood debt. No one knew that Zhao Hu had broken through to the 7th rank, assuming he was still at the 8th rank. Otherwise this event would have caused an uproar, as the 8th and 7th ranks were worlds apart. The name of the Bai family village continued to spread, and many factions came to know of this powerful settlement. Ignoring the outside clamor, the village quietly consolidated its strength, continuously hunting in the wilds and offering sacrifices to the ancestral spirit. Patriarch, our repeated purchases of damaged weapons and pills from the Yong'an Trading Company might have aroused their suspicion. Bai Wu's expression was grim. This trip to buy damaged pills and weapons had indeed drawn the suspicion of the Yong'an Trading Company. Wang Yongfu had been probing, trying to uncover the Bai family village's secrets. Only the two of you and I know about this matter. As long as we keep silent, outsiders will find it hard to learn the truth. Only the 3 of them knew about Bai Weiyun's situation. Even if the Yong'an Trading Company suspected something, they couldn't possibly imagine the existence of such miraculous talismans. However, we must not let our guard down. Spread the word that the Bai family village has produced geniuses in alchemy and artifact forging. From now on, besides purchasing damaged weapons and pills, we will also acquire refining materials and spiritual herbs. Bai Yiming intended to create a diversion, keeping outside forces in the dark about the village's true situation. We could open a shop in Sanshur town, not just cooperate with the Yong'an Trading Company. That way they won't be able to investigate us, even if they try. As long as the source of the damaged pills and weapons remained muddled, the Yong'an Trading Company wouldn't be able to trace them. The Bai family village now had the strength to establish a presence in Sanshur town, and opening a shop was well within their means. Alright, I'll handle this matter after I break through. Over half a year had passed since the slaying of Zhao Hu. With multiple pills obtained, Bai Wu was on the verge of breaking through to the mid-8th rank and planned to go to Sanshur town after his breakthrough. 7 days later, Bai Wu successfully broke through and led 5 9th rank cultivators and over 10 others from the village to Sanshur town. In the past 6 months, the Bai family village had gained 11 more 9th rank cultivators. These were all devout followers of Su Qingshan, who during rituals had their tendons and marrow cleansed by him, greatly enhancing their cultivation aptitude. Upon entering Sanshur town, Bai Wu and his group purchased a small building to serve as their shop, and quickly began acquiring large quantities of refining materials, spiritual herbs, and damaged weapons and pills. The Bai family village was flush with resources and often offered higher prices than other shops, quickly drawing the ire of other factions. The Bai family village is going too far, maliciously driving up prices. How are we supposed to survive? The Bai family village doesn't know the rules. They must be taught a lesson. Do they think this is still their territory? Many factions were outraged, as the Bai family village had severely damaged their interests. Everyone, the Bai family village managed to slay Zhao Hu. Their strength is not to be underestimated. We must not act rashly. Had any other faction dared to do this, they would have been secretly eliminated long ago. But the Bai family village was no ordinary faction. Even Sanshur town had to tread carefully against the ferocious tiger stronghold, yet the village had killed Zhao Hu. Therefore, Sanshire Town didn't dare to move against them lightly. Are we just going to sit here and let the Bai family village do as they please? Some were highly dissatisfied. If this continued, their interests would suffer, and no one could accept that. What's there to fear? This is our territory. The Bai family village can't just run rampant here. The Huang family patriarch said with a sinister smile. I've already visited Steward Zhang. The Bai family village will soon be suppressed. 3 days later, a death occurred on the street where the Bai family village's shop was located. The incident alarmed the Qingyun sect, which ordered a strict investigation. During this period, all shops in the area were to be inspected and were not allowed to open for business. The Bai family village's shop was no exception and had to remain closed. At the same time, other businesses in Sanshire Town were aggressively acquiring various resources, forming a stark contrast with the Bai family village. Uncle Wu, the Qingyun sect, is colluding with the Huang family and the others. They're clearly suppressing us. The people from the Bai family village also sensed that something was wrong if this was entirely targeted at them. There's no need to make a fuss. The Huang family has been rooted in Sanshire Town for years, and many of their disciples have joined the Qingyun sect, giving them deep connections. It's no surprise the sect would help them suppress us. Bai Wu was unconcerned. Their acquisition of spiritual herbs and refining materials was merely a facade dispensable. Their main goal was still purchasing damaged weapons and pills, so the Qingyun sect's suppression was of little consequence to them. Since there's no business, let's take a break for a while. We've been away from the village for so long, it's time to go back and check on things. Bai Wu then decisively closed the shop, taking the opportunity to transport the damaged weapons and pills they had purchased back to the Bai family village. Haha, the Bai family village has closed their shop. They're still too green to contend with us. Sanshire Town is our territory. How dare the Bai family village act so presumptuously? After the Bai family village's shop closed, the factions in Sanshire Town rejoiced, believing the village had withdrawn. Back in the village, Bai Weiyun immediately began repairing the damaged weapons and waste pills. Many clan members were allocated pills and weapons. The 8th rank pills were all kept by Yiming, who intended to use them to break through to the next realm. Sanshire Town is too small. For long-term development, we need to enter Qingshi County. Sanshire Town could no longer satisfy the Bai family village's growth. The damaged weapons were mostly 9th rank, and the pills were only 8th rank. For the Bai family village to develop rapidly, they had to enter Qingshi County. Patriarch Qingshi County is teeming with powerful factions. Is it too rash for us to barge in blindly? Qingshi County was unlike Sanshire Town, for it harbored cultivators of the 7th rank. Bai Wu believed there was no need to rush into Qingshi County so hastily. Bai Yiming shook his head. Though the crisis at the Tiger's Den stronghold has passed, chaos grips the entire Linen Prefecture. If the Bai family village is to weather this calamity, or even rise stronger amidst it, we must possess formidable strength. We must take this risk. The entire Linen Prefecture was in turmoil. Bai family village remained relatively peaceful, but this tranquility would not last. The tide of war would soon reach them, and they had to plan ahead and prepare early. A month later, Bai Yiming successfully broke through to the late 8th rank, establishing himself as a formidable master in his own right. Bai Wu led the villagers of Bai family village towards Qingshi County. Linen Prefecture was vast and sparsely populated. Qingshi County lay several hundred kilometers from Bai family village, and the journey was fraught with rugged mountain paths requiring 5 or 6 days to traverse. Along the way, the group witnessed many deserted villages and countless refugees. These refugees had either escaped with their lives after their villages were plundered by bandits, or had been forced to leave their homes due to famine and destitution. Their destination was also Qingshi County, hoping to receive aid there. Bai Wu shook his head helplessly. Even if these refugees reached Qingshi County, they would not receive help. In fact, they would likely be driven away. The Qingyun sect stood aloof and detached while those beneath them preyed upon the common folk. Why would they care about the lives of these people? Moreover, when one batch of commoners perished, a new one would rise to take their place, making their concerns even more unlikely. When Bai Wu and his group arrived at Qingshi County, over 10,000 refugees had already gathered outside the city walls. At the city gate, 100 armored guards stood watch, their weapons gleaming with a cold, sharp light. Their eyes were sharp and piercing, carrying a faint trace of killing intent, marking them as soldiers who had seen battle. A dozen corpses hung from the city gate. These were refugees who had attempted to storm the gates, left there as a grim warning to deter the others. As Bai Wu and the others neared the gate, they were immediately stopped by the guards. Halt! 1 tael of silver per person to enter the city. Though cultivators existed on the desolate ancient continent, the vast majority were ordinary people unable to cultivate, and gold and silver still circulated as currency. However, the currency of cultivators was spirit stones, whose silver and gold held no value for them. 1 tael of silver was enough to sustain a family of 3 for half a month, a considerable sum. The refugees were destitute, their clothes in tatters, and their stomachs empty. They could hardly afford such a fee, and were thus turned away. After paying the silver, the group entered Qingshi County without further trouble. The contrast between the city and its outskirts was stark. Clean, orderly streets, vendors hawking their wares, and tightly packed buildings. It was a world apart from the chaos outside. Bai Wu and his companions soon purchased a courtyard as their base and acquired a shop nearby where they began buying up damaged weapons and pills. Qingshi County was far grander than Sanshi Town. Bai Wu and his group quickly amassed a considerable collection of damaged pills and weapons. Their aggressive purchasing, however, soon drew the attention of those with keen eyes. Sect Master, our scouts report that this shop has spent over 1,000 spirit stones in a short time. That's no small sum. They must have plenty more on them. Within the Iron Sword sect, a shifty-eyed man reported to the sect master, his gaze burning with greed, eager to seize the spirit stones from Bai Wu and his group. Li Jian's heart was also stirred, but he remained cautious. Have you verified their strength and origins? Anyone with that many spirit stones is not to be trifled with. Li Jian was extremely prudent. The Iron Sword sect was not large, yet it had managed to survive in Qingshi City all this time precisely because of this caution. Sect master, these people are of unknown origin, not from Qingshi County. Their strength is not formidable. If you were to act personally, it would be a guaranteed success. As long as they weren't locals of Qingshi County, the Iron Sword sect had nothing to fear. During this time, Bai Wu had not revealed his true strength. Only Bai Chuyin and a few others had displayed their 9th rank cultivation. As long as Li Jian, an 8th rank cultivator, acted personally, success was assured. Alright, we move tonight. Li Jian made up his mind to strike against the villagers of Bai family village. This was not their first robbery, and they were well versed in such affairs. In the dead of night, dark clouds obscured the moonlight as a group of black-clad masked individuals crept stealthily towards the courtyard where Bai Wu and his group were staying. Bam! They smashed through the door and charged at Bai Wu and his companions. Thieves are attacking. Everyone get up. Bai Wu detected Li Jian and his men immediately and rushed to intercept them, buying precious time for the rest of the Bai family village members. Boom! After a single clash with Bai Wu, Li Jian's face turned ashen. Retreat. Retreat now. He chose to withdraw without a second thought. The enemy actually had an 8th rank cultivator, a fact that had been completely beyond his expectations. He could only abandon this ambush. Li Jian held Bai Wu at bay, and once the others had escaped the courtyard, he unleashed a powerful strike to drive Bai Wu back, before fleeing swiftly, disappearing into the boundless darkness of the night. Uncle Wu, who was it that attacked us? Bai Chuyin and the others rushed to Bai Wu's side to inquire. I don't know. They wore black masks hiding their identities. Bai Wu and his group had not been in Qingshi County for long and did not recognize the local factions. They were baffled as to why someone would target them. Be more cautious from now on. After Bai Wu gave his orders, the group cleaned up the courtyard damaged in the fight before resting. Back at the Iron Sword sect, a furious Li Jian slapped Zhang Sen across the face. Smack! The blow was so hard that Zhang Sen lost several teeth. One side of his face swelled up and blood trickled from the corner of his mouth. You worthless dog! How dare you deceive me? The thought of the enemy having an 8th rank cultivator still sent shivers down Li Jian's spine. Had it not been for the cover of darkness, they would never have escaped. Glaring at the root cause of all this, Li Jian wished he could tear him limb from limb. Sect Master, I had no idea they had an 8th rank cultivator. Zhang San was full of grievances. Had he known they had an 8th rank cultivator, he would never have set his sights on Bai Wu and his group. Although Qingshi County had 7th rank cultivators, they were usually in seclusion and rarely appeared. 8th rank cultivators were the true pillars of the county. A force with an 8th rank cultivator could easily establish itself in Qingshi County, and ordinary people would not dare provoke them. Spread the order from this day forth, we do not provoke this group. Since Bai family village had an 8th rank cultivator, there was no need for the Iron Sword sect to make enemies of them. Though tonight was a failure, at least their identities had not been exposed. As long as they avoided contact with Bai Wu and his group in the future, no more trouble would arise. The following days were calm, but Bai Wu remained vigilant, never letting his guard down. He also managed to purchase a considerable number of damaged pills and weapons. After the crisis at the Tiger Stronghold had passed, the villagers of Wang Family Village and Little Fishing Village gradually returned to their original dwellings and resumed their normal lives. Suddenly, a piercing scream tore through the night sky as a band of marauders seemingly from nowhere descended upon Little Fishing Village. They burned, looted, and committed every atrocity imaginable, plunging the village into an unprecedented catastrophe. Let me go. Unhand me. Please spare my daughter. I'll fight you all. Corpses littered the ground, blood stained everything, creating a scene straight out of hell. Little Fishing Village suffered countless casualties. Some villagers, taking cover of darkness, hurried to neighboring villages to seek help. The world was restless, and White Family Village, which kept night patrols, soon discovered the refugees from Little Fishing Village. Brothers, Little Fishing Village has been attacked by bandits. We beg you to save Little Fishing Village. The newcomers spotted the patrol and rushed toward them, shouting loudly, recounting the tragedy that had befallen their village. The patrol did not dare delay and immediately sent someone to report to Bai Yiming. Already asleep, Bai Yiming was roused and informed of the events at Little Fishing Village. All patrol members immediately sweep the vicinity of the village. Report any suspicious persons to me at once. Bai Yiming gave swift orders prioritizing the safety of White Family Village above all. The situation at Little Fishing Village is unclear. Have Shanghuai and Lu Yun investigate secretly without revealing themselves. It was nighttime, and with no knowledge of the enemy's strength, Bai Yiming dared not act rashly. The incident at Little Fishing Village alarmed the other 4 villages, yet none of them sent aid. It was not that they were heartless or indifferent, but that they dared not intervene recklessly. After looting thoroughly, the bandits departed swiftly, leaving behind a devastated Little Fishing Village. The next morning, people from all 5 villages arrived to witness the tragedy. All 7 cultivators, including the village chief, had perished. Of the hundreds of able-bodied young men, only a handful remained. Countless women had been violated, and many elderly children and the weak had lost their lives. These people struck viciously, each blow aimed to kill. They must be ruthless and merciless. Everyone carefully examined the bodies and reached this conclusion. Alas, these are troubled times indeed. The Tiger Stronghold affair has barely settled, and now this new band of robbers appears. What are we to do? Everyone was filled with anxiety, their faces etched with bitterness. All they sought was merely to survive, yet why was it so difficult? Little Fishing Village has been utterly destroyed. Everyone must be vigilant. Bai Yiming warned everyone not to let their guard down. Subsequently, White Family Village took in the survivors of Little Fishing Village. As the strongest village, the refugees were willing to merge into it. All the villages strengthened their defenses, posting patrols day and night. Half a month later, the same bandits returned. Despite preparations, Lu Family Village was annihilated, utterly outmatched. Lu Family Village was second only to White Family Village in strength. The fact that even they could not withstand the enemy filled the remaining 3 villages with dread. Lu Family Village also merged into White Family Village, greatly increasing its population. Inside a grand hall, Wang Yuan, Zhang Haili Xing, and Bai Yiming gathered together. Have you truly made your decision? The 3 had come to merge their villages into White Family Village, having realized their own weakness. Only by uniting could they hope to survive. We have decided, and we will not regret it. Upon merging, they would have to abide by White Family Village's rules and follow its arrangements. It was a decision born of necessity. Had there been any other choice, they would not have merged. Very well, make the arrangements as soon as possible. Bai Yiming naturally did not refuse and gave his consent. Subsequently, the villages began their migration, all moving into White Family Village. The village expanded outward, constructing numerous new houses. Not only that, they also built tall walls to protect the entire village. The 3 villages contributed a total of 29th-rank cultivators, a formidable force. Bai Yiming ordered the formation of a 300-man patrol, training and acting alongside the clan guard. The 29th-rank cultivators were also incorporated into the ranks, leading patrols. Soon news reached White Family Village. Sanshur Town had been attacked by a mysterious force and suffered heavy losses. Had it not been for the timely aid of the Qingyun sect, it would have fallen. Have Bai Wu and the others returned to the village immediately. The situation was developing beyond expectations. Bai Yiming recalled Bai Wu and his companions from Qingshi County. Upon receiving the order, Bai Wu and the others immediately gathered their purchases and returned to White Family Village. Patriarch, now that 6 villages have merged into one, food, clothing, shelter, and travel are all major issues. We must plan ahead. Bai Shanghuai advised Bai Yiming. The population of White Family Village now exceeded 10,000, rivaling some towns. Yet food had become a pressing and urgent problem. Do not worry. I have already purchased a large amount of grain from the Yong'an Merchant Guild using spirit stones. We need not worry about food for the time being. Bai Yiming had made arrangements, sparing no expense. Trading grain for spirit stones, the Yong'an Merchant Guild naturally did not refuse and sold a large quantity to White Family Village. Hearing this, Bai Shanghuai felt relieved and raised another matter. Patriarch, I believe we should designate the Ancestral Hall as a forbidden area. No one should be allowed to approach it without permission to avoid disturbing the ancestral spirit's tranquility. The ancestral spirit was the very foundation of White Family Village. You outsiders must never learn of its existence. Indeed, you speak wisely. Bai Yiming's eyes brightened, realizing he had nearly overlooked this matter. The merger of the 6 villages proceeded smoothly, and after 3 months, everyone gradually adapted to their new life. Recently, refugees had been streaming into Linen Prefecture, with over 1,000 gathering near White Family Village. These refugees were skin and bones, their clothes in tatters, their faces gaunt and yellow with hunger. Please save my child. Buy this child. She can work like a beast of burden. Please, just a bite to eat. Life was as cheap as grass, vividly demonstrated here. Countless people, in order to survive, would even resort to exchanging children for food. People kept pleading at the village gates, desperate to save their children. Bai Yiming did not allow the refugees in, fearing that such a large influx would incite chaos. Just then Bai Yiming received another order from Su Qingshan commanding him to accept the refugees. Su Qingshan did not do this out of compassion. Rather, he had discovered that as the 6 villages merged and White Family Village's population grew, the fortune energy flowing into him increased dramatically, greatly accelerating his pace of breaking the seal. This discovery filled Su Qingshan with ecstasy. If countless people were to pledge allegiance to White Family Village, would he not break free before long? Bai Yiming resolutely executed Su Qingshan's orders and soon allowed the refugees to enter White Family Village. Why did Patriarch Bai agree to let these refugees in? This bodes no good. Zhang Hai and the others were deeply worried. Human hearts are treacherous. Though these refugees appear utterly destitute, no one can guarantee what trouble they might stir up. Bai Yiming had a plan. The elderly, weak women and children were kept under watch, while the able-bodied young men, once they had recovered slightly, were dispersed and integrated into the patrol teams. This way, even if they harbored any ill intentions, they would find it difficult to act. Although several villages had merged into one, their farmlands were not abandoned and continued to yield grain. After the merger, all the spirit fields now belonged to Bai Family Village. During the village's expansion, the spirit fields were enclosed and now lay within the inner sanctum of Bai Family Village. They were meticulously tended daily and inspected at regular intervals. Bai Weiyan secretly entered the refugee settlement to treat their injuries and ailments, ensuring no one carried pestilence into Bai Family Village. The refugees quickly assimilated, remaining obedient and causing no trouble. 3 months passed swiftly. After a grand sacrificial rite, another talisman seal on Su Qingshan loosened. Patriarch, you summoned me. Bai Jingqiu arrived at the clan hall. Having recently broken through to the mid-9th grade, he could now share the clan's burdens. Looking at him, a flicker of envy crossed Bai Yiming's eyes. Come, let us pay our respects to the ancestral spirit. Upon reaching Su Qingshan, they both prostrated themselves in deep reverence. Suddenly, a surge of power rushed into Bai Jingqiu's body, and the ox talisman on his forehead flashed briefly before vanishing. Patriarch, could this be? Bai Jingqiu wasted no time in thought, immediately circulating his internal energy. With a muffled thump, a wave of power rippled outwards. He had broken through to the late 9th grade. Such terrifying power. Bai Jingqiu felt as though he had been reborn, possessing immense strength and vitality. This is the ancestral spirit's blessing. Bai Jingqiu snapped back to reality and knelt once more, kowtowing repeatedly to Su Qingshan. Suddenly, Bai Yiming beside him shuddered. A mysterious force coursed through his meridians, and a brilliant light radiated from his body. With a thunderous boom, Bai Yiming forcibly broke through to the 7th grade and acquired the power of the pig talisman. With a single palm strike, a beam of light shot into the heavens. Bai Yiming thanks the ancestral spirit for this gracious gift. Overjoyed, Bai Yiming hastily bowed to Su Qingshan. After the two left, Su Qingshan murmured to himself, "Do not disappoint me. Grow stronger swiftly and help me break free from this prison." To free himself as soon as possible, Su Qingshan had exerted every effort to elevate the Bai clan's strength, hoping they would not let him down. As refugees continued to pour in, the various powers of Linen Commandery learned of their origins. The neighboring Guang'an and Jiyuan commanderies had been attacked by the corpse-herding sect, a heretical cult. Their cultivator forces were overwhelmed, and both regions had completely fallen. The corpse-herding sect's methods were cruel. They not only refined corpses from the dead, but also used the living to create mindless puppets, forcing countless civilians to flee for their lives. Qingyun's sect was also actively preparing for war, bracing for the corpse-herding sect's imminent assault. Patriarch, we found traces of the bandits who attacked Shaluo Fishing Village and Liujia Village. They are hiding in the Heyuan Mountains. Bai Family Village had been searching for the force that attacked the fishing village, and their efforts finally bore fruit. Immediately assemble the patrol and clan guards. We will wipe them out to the last. Bai Yiming decided to deploy his main forces to eliminate these bandits, for they posed a constant threat to the village's safety. 500 patrol members and 100 clan guards quickly assembled, and under Bai Yiming's command marched towards the Heyuan Mountains. The Heyuan Mountains were only a few dozen li from Bai Family Village, and far less concealed than the Lianheng Mountains. The group marched swiftly and soon arrived. Charge in. Spare no one. The group surged forward, storming the bandits' stronghold. Trouble. Enemies are attacking. To arms. To arms. Enemy attack. The bandits, over 1,000 strong, were a ferocious and menacing lot. Within their stronghold, they held hundreds of women captive, subjecting them to their vile desires. Seeing the Bai Family Village force charging, and they showed no fear. Instead, they grabbed their weapons and surged forward to meet the attack. Ha! A few hundred come seeking death. Let's grant their wish. Kill them all. Hee, it's time for me to have some fun. The bandits were utterly ferocious, and the patrol members were momentarily intimidated, trembling with fear. Kill. Bai Wu led the clan guards into the enemy camp, his sword flashing as he beheaded 3 enemies in the blink of an eye. Every clan guard was a cultivator well-equipped and extensively trained. They felt no fear and slaughtered the enemy with reckless abandon. Bai Jingxiu revealed terrifying savagery. Like a humanoid beast, he punched out, obliterating an enemy's head in a spray of blood and gore. With a single cleave of his blade, he cut a foe in half, man and weapon alike. Even ninth-grade cultivators were not spared. Bai Jingxiu felt an inexhaustible wellspring of strength within him. Even his casual strikes carried immense force, unstoppable by any. When did this kid get so strong? Even Bai Wu was taken aback. Bai Jingxiu's monstrous strength put even him under pressure. In a direct confrontation, the outcome was uncertain. Everyone attacked together. Witnessing Bai Jingxiu and the clan guard's prowess, the patrol members' blood boiled. Casting aside their fear, they roared and charged into the fray. These vicious bandits were certainly formidable against ordinary civilians, but their opponents today were the people of Bai family village. After seeing over 100 of their number cut down, they finally tasted fear. No longer daring to resist, they sought to flee. Die. Suddenly, a burly man charged at Bai Wu, believing him to be the leader. He thought that killing Bai Wu would turn the tide of battle. He was a mid-8th grade cultivator. If his sneak attack succeeded, Bai Wu would be helpless. But before Bai Wu could even react, a terrifying beam of light struck the man. With a blood-curdling scream, the burly man was scorched, black wisps of smoke rising from his charred body, before he collapsed dead. Bai Yiming charged into the enemy camp. He used no weapons, but every casual palm or fist strike was accompanied by a terrifying beam of light, killing his foes with a single blow. Haha, don't let a single one escape. All eyes turned to Bai Yiming, filled with awe. At Bai Wu's shout, they snapped back to reality and continued their slaughter, determined to leave none alive. The battle was without suspense. Nearly all of the 1,000-plus bandits were slain, with only a few lucky ones managing to escape. Clean up the battlefield. These bandits had plundered vast resources over time, all of which now belonged to Bai family village. Patriarch, what shall we do with these women? Hundreds of women, abducted and tormented by the bandits, stood with numb, terrified expressions. They are pitiful souls. Take them to Baijia village and settle them there. Within his means, Bai Yiming was willing to offer these women a glimmer of hope. Patriarch, look what we found. Bai Jingxiu ran over excitedly, with over 50 fine horses trailing behind him. Ha ha ha, excellent. Truly excellent. Seeing the herd of horses, Bai Yiming could hardly conceal his joy. Such resources were a rare boon. The group took all the resources, including a substantial amount of grain. Meanwhile, within Qingyun Prefecture City, at the seat of the Qingyun sect, a fierce argument was underway. The corpse refining sect is an ancient evil cult. Now that they've resurfaced and seized Anzhou, with Jiyuan and Guang'an prefectures already fallen, how can we possibly withstand them? Why delay our retreat any further? The Grand Elder of the Qingyun sect argued vehemently, advocating for a full retreat. To show cowardice before the battle is to disgrace the name of the Qingyun sect. Our forebears endured countless hardships to carve out this territory. How can we abandon our ancestral legacy and flee? The second elder immediately stood up to rebuke the Grand Elder. The very foundation of the Qingyun sect lay in Linen Prefecture. Abandoning it would render them homeless dogs with no place to stand. Short-sighted fool. Preserving our disciples means preserving our heritage. Staying here will only doom our ancestors' legacy. A coward who fears death is unworthy of being a disciple of the Qingyun sect. The two sides refused to yield, their tension palpable. Silence. The sect master's voice boomed from the main seat, instantly silencing the hall. Both elders have the sect's future at heart. There is no need for discord. After placating the two, Du and Wu said, the Puryang Palace sent word yesterday that we must not surrender Linen Prefecture. They will dispatch reinforcements soon to counterattack the corpse refining sect and reclaim the two lost prefectures. As the hegemon of Yuanzhou, the Puryang Palace would not permit the corpse refining sect to encroach upon their territory. Hearing this, everyone felt a measure of relief. With a fourth-rank cultivator at its helm, the Puryang Palace was a true colossus. If they decided to intervene, the corpse refining sect would find it no easy task to invade Linen Prefecture. Conscript all forces within Linen Prefecture for battle. The corpse refining sect is ruthless. We need these forces to minimize our own disciples' losses. The Qingyun sect quickly issued its orders, and all factions within the prefecture received the summons. Steward Zhang, sent to deliver the message to Baijia village, was astonished by the dramatic transformation that had taken place upon his arrival. Strange. Weren't there 6 villages here before? Unaware of the merger, Steward Zhang proceeded to Baijia village with a puzzled frown. Is this really Baijia village? He stared in disbelief. Having dealt with the village for years, he knew it well, and its current state left him utterly stunned. Steward, your presence honors us. Please come in. Bai Wu came forward to greet him. Steward Zhang was responsible for collecting the spirit stones from the 6 villages annually, so he was well acquainted with them, and Bai Wu naturally recognized him. You've already reached the 8th rank. Impressive for one so young. Sensing Bai Wu's undisguised cultivation base, Steward Zhang's eyes narrowed. Clearly Baijia village had undergone a momentous change. Led by Bai Wu, Steward Zhang soon arrived at a grand hall, where Bai Yiming was already waiting. Steward, it has been a while. The moment he laid eyes on Bai Yiming, Steward Zhang's pupils contracted, and his heart trembled, feeling an imminent threat of death. Forcing himself to remain calm, he said with great courtesy, "Patriarch, Bai, it has been too long." After Steward Zhang was seated, Bai Yiming asked, "What brings the steward to our humble village?" Not daring to act presumptuously, Steward Zhang replied, "I am here to convey the sect's command. Baijia village is to contribute forces to aid the sect in battle against the enemy." He paused, then asked, "Patriarch, by what has transpired here? Why are Liujia village and Xiaoyu village gone? And how has Baijia village grown so large, comparable to a small town?" Steward Zhang voiced his confusion. Bai Yiming said calmly, "The steward may not know, but we were first raided by the ferocious tiger stronghold, suffering heavy losses. Then an unknown force attacked us. The other 5 villages were destroyed, and their surviving villagers joined Baijia village. We have taken in many refugees recently, which is why our population has swelled." Steward Zhang found no reason to suspect his explanation. With war raging across Linen Prefecture, the destruction of a few villages was hardly unusual. According to the rules, you are to send 100 people and 3 ninth-rank cultivators. However, given your current scale, you far exceed a typical village. I must report this to the sect for further instructions. Baijia village could no longer be called a village, it resembled a town. Steward Zhang would need to inform the sect. Anticipating this, Bai Yiming produced 500 spirit stones and approached Steward Zhang. "Steward, Baijia village has taken in many refugees, but they are all weak and helpless. I hope you can see the truth of this. These spirit stones are a small token of appreciation from our village. Please do not refuse them." The true situation of Baijia village could not be revealed to the Qingyun sect, or they would be forced to contribute far more than a mere 100 men. Steward Zhang's gaze lingered on the 500 spirit stones. It was a substantial fortune, more than he might earn in a lifetime. "Patriarch, Bai speaks wisely. I will surely report the situation accurately to the sect." "Thank you, Steward." Steward Zhang then left Baijia village content with his gift. Patriarch, based on what Steward Zhang said, can the Qingyun sect really hold back the corpse refining sect? Having easily seized 2 prefectures, the corpse refining sect was clearly a formidable foe. Whether the Qingyun sect could withstand them was uncertain. Send Bai Yuan with 100 members of the patrol to join the battle. Their primary objective is to ensure their own safety. The Qingyun sect's mobilization order had arrived, and Baijia village dared not disobey, only complying with the request for troops. Return to Qingshi County town and continue purchasing damaged weapons and pills. With war imminent, weapons and pills were scarce commodities. Baijia village needed to stockpile as much as possible. All factions had received the Qingyun sect's summons, and despite their reluctance, they had no choice but to send their forces. Having accepted the 500 spirit stones, Steward Zhang proved his worth by keeping Baijia village's true situation from the Qingyun sect. The village was only required to send 100 people and 3 ninth-rank cultivators. The various forces began to assemble at Sanshi town before marching together towards Jilin County. Those conscripted for battle were required to provide their own weapons and provisions, receiving no compensation even if they fell upon the battlefield. Every time conflict erupted in Linen Prefecture, numerous villagers from surrounding settlements were conscripted as cannon fodder, thereby minimizing the losses suffered by the disciples of the Qingyun sect. Such was the way not only of the Qingyun sect, but of the entire human realm. No reason or justice to be found. Under the Qingyun sect's orders, Bai Yuan and his contingent marched towards Jilin County, the site of the first and most brutal battle. Knowing this campaign was fraught with peril, Bai Yiming deliberately kept Bai Wu from leading the contingent. Of the 100 or so who departed, few were expected to return alive. It was not that Bai Yiming was heartless, but that reality forced his hand. Bai Wu possessed immense potential, was his most steadfast supporter, and was also the father of Bai Weiyun. To lose him on the battlefield would be a tremendous blow to the Bai clan. In that case, it was better to send Bai Yuan. Even if he were to be sacrificed, the impact on the clan would be minimal. Bai Yuan harbored no objections to the clan's arrangement. He fought for the family. Should he fail to return, his wife and children would be cared for by the clan. After a grueling 7-day march, the contingent finally arrived at Jilin County, where they were stationed in the most perilous positions. Meanwhile, in Qingshi County, Bai Wu was busy purchasing damaged pills and weapons in bulk. After spending a considerable amount of spirit stones, they managed to acquire 2 7th-grade waste pills and a shattered 7th-grade weapon. "We must leave immediately." They had spent over 10,000 spirit stones, causing quite a stir. They needed to leave quickly to avoid attracting unwanted attention. Their decision proved prudent, for shortly after they departed Qingshi County, a group of men came searching for them. Damn it, they got away. Bai Wu and his men had already made their escape, riding their captured horses far from Qingshi County. Upon returning to Bai family village, all the acquired items were handed to Bai Weiyun for restoration. One particular item caught Su Qingshan's attention, prompting him to have Bai Yiming bring it before him. This appears to be a puppet. Su Qingshan mused, gazing at the broken humanoid object before him. With a surge of power from the horse talisman, the puppet was instantly restored, yet it remained an inanimate object, unable to move. Soon I can try. Su Qingshan was filled with anticipation, gazing at the nearly unsealed rat talisman. In the following days, Bai family village engaged in extensive cultivation of grain harvesting and replanting spiritual rice. This time Bai Yiming kept the harvested spiritual rice for the clan members instead of selling it. Clan leader, I have acquired an 8th grade spiritual plant inheritance in Qingshi County. We can select talented individuals from the clan to teach. Bai Wu had traded a 9th grade weapon with a cultivator for the 8th grade spiritual plant inheritance. It contained detailed instructions on cultivating 9th and 8th grade spiritual plants along with numerous illustrations. A truly invaluable treasure. With Bai family village now controlling 50 mu of spiritual fields, they could cultivate other spiritual items rather than only spiritual rice. Place it in the clan hall and make a copy for Weiyun. She has the potential to become a spiritual plant master. Bai Yiming made the arrangements, and this inheritance would become a cornerstone of the clan's future. Bai Weiyun, having received power from the ancestral spirit, possessed a life-giving force that might indeed allow her to become a spiritual plant master. The clan's current cultivation method only reaches the 7th grade. We must find a way to obtain a 6th grade or higher technique. The Bai clan faced a predicament regarding cultivation techniques. Though the Bai clan had once been illustrious, even in their exile to Linen Prefecture, their techniques could still reach the 7th grade, surpassing countless other factions. The reason no one in Lu family village had ever broken through to the 8th grade was not just a lack of talent, but primarily the absence of a suitable cultivation technique. Bai Yiming had already broken through to the 7th grade, and with the blessing of the talisman, his cultivation speed was astonishing. He would soon face the dilemma of lacking a higher-level technique. They needed to plan ahead and resolve this matter swiftly. Clan leader cultivation techniques are the very foundation of any faction. Obtaining a 6th grade or higher technique is as difficult as ascending to heaven. No faction would ever let their cultivation technique be known to outsiders. Firstly, they didn't want others to cultivate it, and secondly, they feared that others might exploit knowledge of the technique to target them. Every faction guarded its techniques fiercely, and 6th grade or higher techniques rarely surfaced in the world. We can only take things one step at a time. Bai Yiming had no immediate solution and could only bide his time. Bai Weiyun did not disappoint. With her remarkable talent, she became the Bai clan's first spiritual plant master. She was deeply fascinated by spiritual plants, spending her days studying the 8th grade inheritance. Meanwhile, Bai Wu and his men continued to hunt beasts in the great wasteland, offering a steady stream of sacrifices to Su Qingshan. With the surge of sacrifices, the rat talisman finally broke free from its seal. Su Qingshan channeled the talisman's power, and the puppet beside him instantly gained consciousness, obediently coming to his side. Su Qingshan immediately summoned Bai Yiming. As the Bai clan grew stronger, part of his seal had been lifted, allowing him to draw Bai Yiming into his dreams at will. Following Su Qingshan's instructions, Bai Yiming quickly arrived at the location and saw the puppet he had been told about. Bai Yiming's figure blurred as he instantly attacked the puppet. The puppet's eyes flashed crimson for a moment as it moved to counter his assault. They clashed fiercely. The puppet was extraordinary, and without using the talisman's power, Bai Yiming found himself suppressed. Bai Yiming brought his palms together, then thrust them forward, unleashing a powerful wave of talisman energy that sent the puppet flying. Parts of the puppet shattered, emitting black smoke, yet it struggled to its feet and charged at him once more. Without surprise, the puppet was sent flying once more, yet it refused to yield, struggling continuously. A gentle force then fell upon the puppet, swiftly repairing its injuries. Su Qingshan's divine sense transmitted to the puppet, commanding it to stop. Su Qingshan was highly satisfied with the puppet's strength. Even an average 7th grade cultivator would be no match for it. Though Bai Yiming was only at the early 7th grade, with the talisman's power, no one at the 7th grade realm could defeat him. Su Qingshan once again drew Bai Yiming into a dream, instructing him to give the repaired 7th grade weapon to the puppet. The puppet was named Kuei by Su Qingshan. It possessed its own intelligence and held deep reverence and dependence on Su Qingshan. Kuei will remain in the clan grounds. If you encounter an insurmountable problem, you may call upon him. After giving his instructions, Su Qingshan left the dream, and Bai Yiming went to retrieve the 7th grade weapon for Kuei to use. Bai Yiming, empowered by the pig talisman, no longer required any weaponry. The rays it unleashed were the most formidable arms at his disposal. Henceforth, the Bai clan would not only dedicate itself to gathering fragmented weapons and elixirs, but also to amassing various puppets. Patriarch, the population of Bai family village has now surpassed 15,000. Should we consider expanding it into a town? As refugees continued to pour in by Chuyin and others proposed the idea of expanding by family village into by family town. We may begin the expansion, but we must do so discreetly. The by family village needed to lie low, accumulate strength, and then rise with a single astonishing strike. Before long, news from the front lines began to arrive. Chuyin County came under a fierce assault by the corpse manipulation sect, suffering catastrophic losses, with heavy casualties each day. Even with the Qingyun sect deploying its main forces there, stemming the tide of defeat proved impossible. Even the dispatch of 2 6th-rank cultivators and 10 7th-rank cultivators from the Puryang Palace could not halt the relentless retreat. The corpse manipulation sect was an ancient heretical sect. Even though it had suffered a devastating blow in the past, its resurgence and return now proved overwhelming. With Chuyin County on the brink of collapse, the corpse manipulation sect diverted a portion of its forces to bypass the county and invade Linan Prefecture. Qingyun County was also among the targets of the corpse manipulation sect. The entire county was gripped by terror, repeatedly pleading for aid from the Qingyun sect, yet their pleas went unanswered. Despicable. The Qingyun sect deserves to die. Within Qingyun County, the 3 leaders of the Madblade sect, the 100 Herbs Hall, and the Qian family were furious. The Qingyun sect had always exploited them ruthlessly, yet at this critical moment, they turned a blind eye. It was simply too much to bear. Enough. Let us all calm our tempers. The Qingyun sect has always been this way, but we should not have held much hope for them from the start. Mujan, the master of the 100 Herbs Hall, soothed the 2 furious men. They were no strangers to dealing with the Qingyun sect, and should have anticipated this. Now that the Qingyun sect refuses to help, we can only rely on ourselves. Since the Qingyun sect was unreliable, they had no choice but to fend off the corpse manipulation sect on their own. The corpse manipulation sect is ruthless, refining living people into corpses. We have no choice but to fight to the death. Had the enemy been any other force, they might have surrendered, but against the corpse manipulation sect, death was preferable to surrender. The corpse manipulation sect delighted in refining powerful cultivators into corpse puppets. The stronger the cultivator, the more powerful the puppet. Should they fall into the sect's hands, they would be turned into such puppets, a fate worse than death. Had we known, we should not have sent our county's forces to support Chuyin County. The men were somewhat regretful, but what was done was done. Our regret could not change the situation. Close the city gates, consolidate all our forces, and prepare to defend the county town to the death. After deliberation, they decided to defend the city, hoping for a chance at survival. Boom. Within by family village, Bai Wu finally broke through to the late 8th rank. With the 8th rank spear given to him by Yiming, he was now virtually unmatched among 8th rank cultivators. Bang! Shortly after, Bai Wu's breakthrough, Bai Jingxiu also made a breakthrough. His early 8th rank cultivation combined with the power of the Ox Talisman was enough to dominate the 8th rank realm. Bai Chuyin, Bai Shanghuai, Bai Lufeng, and others also made breakthroughs. By this point, all the elixirs that Bai Wu had brought back from Qingshi County were consumed, yet they had greatly strengthened the Bai clan. 3 months later, grim news arrived. Bai Yuan had died in battle at Chuyin County. His entire patrol of 100 was wiped out. Despite having anticipated this possibility, the news still plunged everyone into grief. Take good care of Bai Yuan's wife and children, and focus on nurturing his son Bai Feng. Bai Yuan had sacrificed himself for the clan could not let him bleed, and then shed tears. His family had to be properly provided for. Dispatch all the horses to closely monitor the surrounding situation. The corpse manipulation sect's invasion of Qingshi County was not good news. Bai family village had to respond cautiously. All the horses in the village were dispatched patrolling day and night to prevent a surprise attack from the corpse manipulation sect. A month later, the corpse manipulation sect arrived near Bai family village with Sanshur town bearing the brunt of the assault. There are tens of thousands of people here. If we refine them all into corpse puppets, our power will grow even stronger. Wang Ming, the steward of the corpse manipulation sect, revealed a cruel smile, determined to take Sanshur town. Kill them all. The corpse manipulation sect had only a few hundred disciples, but they commanded thousands of mindless puppet corpses. These puppets felt no pain or fear and were enough to conquer Sanshur town. Disaster. The corpse manipulation sect is attacking. Run, run. We can't fight them. Flee. Sanshur town dared not organize any resistance. Everyone fled in panic. The town descended into chaos, and the corpse manipulation sect entered with effortless ease. Most residents chose to flee to Qingshi County town, where there was a glimmer of hope. Some fled in panic, with a portion ending up at Bai family village, inadvertently leading the corpse manipulation sect's forces there. Attack. Bai Yiming led the Bai family village clan guard and patrol team to intercept, rescuing over 1,000 civilians. Even if these civilians had not led the corpse manipulation sect here, they would have eventually attacked Bai family village. Bai Yiming chose to strike first. Only a few hundred corpse puppets were pursuing these civilians, but they were fearless and difficult to deal with. Bai Yiming vigorous despite his age charged headlong into the corpse puppets, forming an impenetrable line alone, holding back the puppets that were chasing the civilians from Sancher Town. Quickly enter Bai family village. Bai Wu and others arranged for people to receive the fleeing civilians. Great. Someone has come to save us. Let's go. The despairing civilians, seeing Bai Wu and the others come to their rescue, regained hope. The instinct to survive drove them to use their last ounce of strength to follow the others into Bai family village. Bang! Boom! Uff! Bai Yiming was terrifying, every move he made contained the powerful force of his rays. A single casual strike would shatter a corpse puppet into pieces, killing it completely. Cut off their heads. After Bai Wu and the others joined the battle, Bai Yiming shouted a reminder. Through combat he had discovered that the weakness of these corpse puppets was their heads. As long as their heads were severed, the corpse puppets would completely lose their ability to move. Damn it! Who is this man? How is he so terrifying? The corpse manipulation sect disciples were furious and heartbroken to see Bai Yiming so valiant, watching helplessly as their hard-earned corpse puppets were destroyed one by one. Quick run! He's coming for us! The corpse manipulation sect members saw Bai Yiming charging at them and immediately panicked, fleeing in all directions. Where do you think you're going? At that moment, Bai Jingxiu suddenly appeared, striking a disciple with his fist. The immense force instantly pierced through the man's chest, shattering his heart, and he died on the spot. Blocked by Bai Jingxiu, the corpse manipulation sect members failed to escape in time. Bai Yiming seized the opportunity to attack, launching a fierce assault on them. The strongest of the corpse refining sect was only at the early 8th rank, no match for Bai Yiming and Bai Jingxiu, and was swiftly slain. Hundreds of corpse puppets were beheaded, meeting their final end. Burn them all together. Bai Yiming ordered the incineration of all the corpse puppets to eliminate the threat once and for all. The townsfolk of Sancher Town had fled, leaving the town completely fallen. Most of the refugees fled to Qingshi County Town, seeking its protection. Allow the Huang family and others inside the city, but keep all other commoners outside the gates. After deliberation, Qian Huafeng and Mu Zhan decided to permit the Huang family and other groups with cultivators to enter the city, hoping they would aid in its defense should the corpse refining sect attack. The ordinary citizens, however, were denied entry. Thousands of them, destitute and starving, had fled here with nothing but the clothes on their backs. Allowing them inside would inevitably lead to chaos as they fought for food to survive. In these critical times, Qingshi County Town could not afford internal turmoil. They lacked the resources to quell a riot. Open the gate. Please open the gate. You can't just leave us to die. Let us in. Outside the city walls, countless refugees wept and pleaded, but Qingshi County Town remained unmoved, its gates firmly shut against them. Listen to me. If we want to survive, we have to rely on ourselves. There are villages nearby. They are our only hope. A man stepped forward from the crowd, raising his voice. A large number of refugees responded to his call. They ceased lingering at the city gates and set off towards the nearby villages. Just moments ago, they were refugees. Now they were a band of vicious brigands. The surrounding villages were plundered by these refugees. However, the villages near Qingshi County Town were not weak, and they exacted a heavy toll on the desperate mob. After conquering Sancher Town, the corpse refining sect marched relentlessly towards Qingshi County Town. If they could breach this stronghold, the entire Qingshi County territory would be theirs for the taking. Steward Wang Luqing and the others haven't returned yet. Could something have happened? A disciple reported to Steward Wang within the sect's advancing army. Luqing and his men have been sent to eliminate a group of fleeing townsfolk from Sancher Town, a task that should have been simple. Yet their prolonged absence and lack of any message began to cause concern. No matter. They must have been delayed. In all of Qingshi County, aside from the county town, no one is a match for them. Steward Wang was unconcerned. With hundreds of corpse puppets at their command, he believed they couldn't possibly encounter trouble. The corpse puppets, feeling no fatigue or hunger, marched day and night, and quickly arrived at Qingshi County Town. Disaster. The corpse refining sect is here. Run for your lives. Quickly. Flee. Seeing the corpse refining sect's army at the gates, the civilians still outside the city walls scattered in panic. The corpse refining sect did not give chase. These commoners offered no resistance. They could be dealt with after the county town was taken. The enemy is here. Prepare for battle. Qian Huafeng, Mu Zhan, and Zhao Guangdao, 3 7th-rank cultivators, personally oversaw the defense from the city wall. Gazing at the vast sea of corpse puppets below, their faces turned grim with worry. Attack the city. At Steward Wang's command, thousands of corpse puppets surged towards the city walls like a tide. Loose arrows. Shoot them down. As the puppets neared, the soldiers on the wall unleashed a volley of arrows. Thud. Swoosh. Whiz. The arrows embedded themselves in the corpse puppets, but failed to halt their advance. Even arrows that pierced their skulls had no effect. They continued their relentless march towards the walls. Stop wasting arrows. These are the walking dead, you can't kill them. Mu Zhan ordered a ceasefire, realizing the arrows were useless and only being squandered. Roar. At that moment, two humanoid puppets let out a thunderous roar and charged towards the city wall. Boom! They kicked off the ground, leaping effortlessly onto the ramparts. Omp! Squelch! Slice! The two puppets slaughtered dozens of soldiers in an instant, instilling such terror that the remaining defenders fled in panic. Not good, those are bronze-armored corpses. We have to stop them. Seeing this, Mujan and the others' expressions changed drastically. They joined forces and attacked the two puppets. These were not ordinary corpse puppets, but bronze-armored corpses forged from powerful cultivators. Ordinary weapons could barely scratch them, and they were capable of contending with 7th-rank cultivators. Clang! Mujan's sword struck a bronze-armored corpse, but it was like hitting a solid slab of metal, sending sparks flying into the air. How can it be this hard? Mujan's weapon was a fine 8th-rank sword, and with his 7th-rank cultivation, he was still unable to harm the bronze-armored corpse. It was truly astonishing. Let me try. Qian Huafeng spun his body, channeling all his strength into a powerful slash aimed at the bronze-armored corpse's head. Just as the blade was about to land, Steward Wang suddenly appeared before the puppet, blocking the strike with his long spear. Ding! The immense force of the collision sent both combatants staggering backward. Steward Wang had been forced to intervene. The blade Qian Huafeng wielded was a 7th-rank weapon capable of harming the bronze-armored corpse. Kill! Steward Wang, leading the two bronze-armored corpses, fought against Qian Huafeng's trio, quickly gaining the upper hand and suppressing them. Yet the three were no pushovers. They became locked in a fierce stalemate, desperately trying to tie down Steward Wang and his two puppets. Attack! The other members of the corpse refining sect also unleashed their meticulously crafted puppets. While inferior to the bronze-armored corpses, they were still comparable to 9th-rank and 8th-rank cultivators. Moreover, they felt no fear, no pain, and had thick skin. They were even more troublesome to deal with than mortal cultivators. All the cultivators within Qingshi County Town joined the fray, fighting with everything they had. They were all keenly aware of what the fall of the city would mean, so each of them fought, without reservation, desperate to slay the enemy. The townsfolk also aided in the city's defense, helping to transport supplies and manning the walls tenaciously, making it difficult for the corpse refining sect to break through. Though the corpse puppets were fearless, they were merely transformed commoners and could not scale the high walls. After half a day of intense fighting, unable to shake the city's defenses, Steward Wang was forced to order a retreat. Retreat! After forcing back Mujan and the others with a powerful strike, Steward Wang departed with his bronze-armored corpses. Mujan and the others dared not pursue. As the corpse puppets ceased their assault and withdrew, a wave of celebration erupted across Qingshi City. Ha ha ha, we drove them back. Excellent. We held Qingshi County Town. Victory. We are victorious. While the citizens cheered and celebrated, Mujan and his companions remained grim-faced. This attack by the corpse refining sect felt more like a probing strike. The next assault would surely be far more ferocious, and they had little confidence they could withstand it. In the days that followed, the corpse refining sect did not attack Qingshi County Town. Although there were no signs of an imminent assault, the town remained vigilant, keeping a close watch on the sect's every move. Steward Wang, we've lost all contact with junior brother Lu and his group. Something must have happened. Given how long Lu Qing and the others had been gone without returning, they had likely encountered a mishap and were probably in grave danger. Forget about them for now. Steward Li will arrive soon. We'll settle this matter after we breach Qingshi County Town. The immediate priority was to conquer the town. All other issues could be set aside temporarily. Steward Li was already leading reinforcements, and with his arrival the town was sure to fall. Patriarch, a great battle has erupted between Qingshi County Town and the corpse refining sect. What should we do? Continue your surveillance and report any news immediately. By village sent scouts to gather information on the conflict, learning that the corpse refining sect had already engaged the town's forces in battle. Bai Yiming dared not act rashly, choosing instead to bide his time and observe the situation. Not long after, Steward Li arrived with over 1,000 corpse puppets and more than 100 disciples, launching an immediate and ferocious assault. This time the corpse refining sect unleashed their full might, with every disciple joining the fray. The two stewards led the charge onto the city walls, their 3 bronze-armored corpses fighting alongside them, overwhelming Mujan and his men with no chance to retaliate. We can't hold any longer. Chaos reigned on the walls, making coordination impossible. The corpse puppets below seized the opportunity to swarm up the battlements, and the defense completely collapsed. Open the south gate. Every man for himself. Seeing that the situation was beyond saving, Mujan and the others unsealed another gate and fled the city. Ha ha ha, you're not going anywhere. The two stewards fought desperately to pin down Mujan and his comrades. As the pillars of Qingshi County, only by slaying them could the corpse refining sect truly claim the territory as their own. The town is lost. Run for your lives. Get out of my way. Faster. The townsfolk scrambled to escape, terrified of being captured by the corpse refining sect if they lingered even a moment too long. Qingshi County town swiftly fell. Tens of thousands of residents who failed to flee were trapped within its walls. Of the 3 leaders, only Zhao Guangdao managed to break through the encirclement, gravely wounded. The town's masters suffered catastrophic losses, and in a single night the banners changed hands. After seizing Qingshi County town, the corpse refining sect dispatched multiple forces to conquer every village and town within the county, aiming to establish complete dominion over the region. A massive exodus began as residents fled to other territories. Bai village also received news of the town's fall, and a tense atmosphere settled over the settlement. Expand the patrol radius. Report any sign of trouble immediately. If Qingshi County town, with its high walls, thick defenses, and numerous defenders, could not withstand the corpse refining sect, Bai village stood no chance against such a formidable foe. All they could do was hope the corpse refining sect wouldn't bother with a full-scale attack on their village, praying for a turn of fortune. Even in such dire straits, no one in Bai village ever considered relocating. Given their current strength, they might have a good chance of survival if they migrated. Yet they never entertained the idea, and the primary reason was the ancestral spirit. The ancestral spirit could not be moved, and they would never abandon it, even if it meant fighting to the last drop of blood. As the corpse refining sect's sweeps continued, Qingyun County was left desolate. Homes emptied, bones bleaching under the sun, and not a single rooster's crow for 1,000 li. Soon a corpse refining sect force marched towards Bai village. This detachment was even more powerful than the one previously destroyed, comprising 500 to 600 corpse puppets and several dozen disciples. Be careful, everyone. This is where junior brother Lu and the others disappeared. A formidable force is entrenched here. Sun Lianyun cautioned the group, warning them not to let their guard down. What's there to fear? We've already taken Qingshi County town. What force here could possibly threaten us? Some disciples were dismissive, their arrogance inflated by a string of victories. Kill. Suddenly the ground trembled as Bai village's patrol and clan guards surged out in full force, charging straight at them. Ha ha, someone actually dares to attack us. How utterly foolish. Kill them all. The corpse refining sect members showed no fear, immediately commanding their corpse puppets to engage the villagers. Boom. Bai Jingxiu descended like a god of war, leading the charge. He was a human beast of immense strength. His weapons were a pair of massive iron hammers. With each swing he pulverized the surrounding corpse puppets into a bloody pulp, a truly horrifying sight. Every blow he delivered carried the weight of 10,000 jun, of force that could crush even cultivators, let alone mere corpse puppets. His strength seemed inexhaustible, never waning. He rampaged across the battlefield, smashing dozens of corpse puppets to pieces in a short span of time. Damn it! Stop him! Seeing this, the corpse refining sect members dispatched 2 puppets comparable to 8th rank cultivators to intercept him. Bring it on! Bai Jingxiu's eyes burned with ferocity as he charged at the 2 puppets. Boom! Crack! His twin hammers slammed into the puppets' chests, the immense force shattering their armored frames and sending them flying through the air before they crashed to the ground. Die! He swung his hammers again, crushing the heads of both puppets and completely destroying them. What kind of monster is this? The disciples were terrified. They had seen men of natural strength before, but never a freak of nature like Bai Jingxiu. Everyone attacked together. Kill him! The group, burning with murderous intent, moved to jointly slay Bai Jingxiu. Boom! Suddenly a figure appeared before them. The disciples were startled, and forgetting Bai Jingxiu for a moment, scrambled to defend themselves. Boom! Ugh! Ugh! With each strike, Bai Yiming felled another foe. Not a single one of the dozens of corpse refining sect disciples survived. Kill! Bai Yiming plunged into the army of corpse puppets, displaying unmatched combat prowess. A single seemingly effortless strike was enough to destroy a puppet. Some puppets were even obliterated by sheer power, their flesh and bone fragments scattering through the air. Under the leadership of Bai Jingxiu and Bai Yiming, the hundreds of corpse puppets were quickly annihilated. The patrol suffered over a dozen casualties, but the clan guards, protected by their armor and enhanced by their cultivation, emerged without fatalities, though many bore varying degrees of injury. Burn them all. They gathered the corpse puppets' remains and set them ablaze, reducing them to ash. The corpse refining sect force that had entered Bai village's territory was wiped out once again. The loss of contact soon alarmed Steward Wang. This is the second time. Could a powerful force be lurking in this area? I shall investigate personally. Steward Wang left Qingshi County town alone, heading towards Bai village's territory to see for himself. Bai family village was heavily guarded, with patrols making their rounds even through the night. Steward Wang, a 7th rank cultivator, came alone, and with his deliberate concealment the patrols failed to detect his presence. There's actually a town here. After a period of expansion, Bai family village had grown to rival some small towns in scale. Steward Wang was taken aback, not expecting a town here. He vaulted over a stone wall with ease, silently entering Bai family village. Every move within Bai family village was under Su Qingshan's watchful eye. Steward Wang believed himself hidden, unaware that he was already exposed before the ancestral spirit. With a sharp whistle, Kuei, upon Su Qingshan's command, immediately departed the ancestral grounds to strike at Steward Wang. Simultaneously, Bai Yiming was pulled into a dream by Su Qingshan, who revealed the intruder's arrival. Startled awake from the dream, Bai Yiming's face turned grim. Had the ancestral spirit not warned him, they would have remained ignorant of the enemy's presence within the village. Furious, Bai Yiming sped towards Steward Wang, intent on slaying the intruder. A thunderous boom echoed as he arrived, finding Kuei already locked in battle with Steward Wang. Both were 7th-rank cultivators, and their clash was devastating, leaving the surrounding area in ruins. A powerful enemy has come. Everyone leave. Bai Yiming's roar sent nearby villagers fleeing from the battlefield. With a heavy thud, Kuei, equivalent to a late 7th-rank expert, and wielding a 7th-rank weapon, overwhelmed Steward Wang, forcing him onto the defensive. Die! Enraged and humiliated, Steward Wang summoned 2 bronze-armored corpses to join the fray, 3 against 1. Kuei showed no fear, holding his ground against the trio. Steward Wang grew increasingly alarmed. Kuei was too powerful, leaving him with no opening. How could Qingshi County harbor such an expert? A warrior like Kuei would be rare, even in Linen Prefecture, so how could one appear in such a remote region? I must leave. Steward Wang, no longer willing to fight, decided to retreat and devise a new plan. Suddenly a figure shot towards him, wreathed in swirling orange-yellow beams of light that crackled like lightning. Steward Wang's pupils contracted. He had never seen such an extraordinary being. Bai Yiming unleashed a ray of light to clear the path, the beam reaching Steward Wang before he did. Steward Wang, not daring to be careless, hurriedly raised his spear to block the descending ray. The sight before him filled Steward Wang with terror and disbelief. Where his 7th-rank spear met the ray, it was as if it had been scorched by intense fire. A portion had vanished, leaving behind a charred black mark. Even a supposedly indestructible 7th-rank weapon was so easily damaged. If such a ray struck his mortal flesh, the consequences would be unimaginable. Feeling the pressure of death, Steward Wang dared not engage Bai Yiming. With a grim resolve, he decided to cut his losses, leaving the 2 bronze-armored corpses behind to cover his retreat. Under Steward Wang's final command, the 2 bronze-armored corpses fought with increased ferocity. However, against Kuei, their desperate efforts were futile, unable to break through his defense and stop Bai Yiming. With a thunderous impact, Bai Yiming attacked like an enraged lion, showing no mercy. Each strike aimed to kill. Steward Wang resisted desperately, but was soon pushed into a corner. My life ends here. A ray of light pierced Steward Wang's heart, boring through it, the energy like electricity ravaging his vitality. Steward Wang's body crumpled to the ground, lifeless. Bai Yiming then joined Kuei's battle, and together they quickly shattered the 2 bronze-armored corpses. At that moment, an unexpected event occurred. The shattered remnants of the bronze-armored corpses were absorbed by Kuei. After devouring them, Kuei's aura surged, his power greatly enhanced, yet his appearance remained unchanged. Brother Kuei, are you alright? Bai Yiming, stunned by the scene, quickly asked about Kuei's condition. Ha, I have never felt better. Do not worry. Kuei, possessing intelligence no less than a human's, reassured Bai Yiming. Relieved that Kuei was unharmed, Bai Yiming felt a weight lift off his shoulders. This was the ancestral spirit's subordinate. Had anything happened, he wouldn't have been able to answer for it. Su Qingshan witnessed all of this. He hadn't expected Kuei to possess such an ability, to grow stronger by devouring other puppets. He realized that the powers of the 12 Talismans had undergone some mutation in this ancient wasteland, surpassing his previous understanding. After the battle, the 2 returned to the ancestral grounds. This incident was but a minor interlude, not affecting the villagers of Bai family village. However, Bai Yiming couldn't afford to be complacent. The loss of a 7th-rank cultivator and 2 bronze-armored corpses would surely draw the attention of the corpse-driving sect. If a stronger expert from the corpse-driving sect were to come, Bai family village might not be able to withstand it. Steward Wang had come without notifying anyone, so no one knew of his whereabouts. More than half a month later, Steward Li, noticing Steward Wang's prolonged absence, finally realized he had left Qingshi County. Where in the world did Steward Wang go? He abandoned Qingshi County without a care. Isn't he afraid of the sect's punishment? Steward Li didn't believe Steward Wang was in danger. He guessed he had probably gone off to handle some other matter. With Steward Wang gone and no other plan, Steward Li began to refine the citizens of Qingshi County into corpse puppets. The county quickly descended into a living hell, with tens of thousands of innocent people falling victim. Over 10,000 people were refined into over 1,000 corpse puppets. They fanned out, capturing people across the entire Qingyun County region. 3 months quickly passed. The lands of Qingyun County were left desolate. Those who could flee had all escaped Qingshi County. Those who couldn't hid deep in the mountains or were captured by the corpse-driving sect. This is wrong. What is Steward Wang doing? After 3 months with no sign of Steward Wang, Steward Li felt a sense of foreboding. Just as he was about to report to the sect an order arrived, he and Steward Wang were to immediately withdraw from Qingshi County. Steward Li immediately executed the order, leading the members of the corpse-driving sect to retreat swiftly. By Family Village's scouts who had been monitoring Qingshi County saw the corpse-driving sect retreat and immediately sent word back. What? The corpse-driving sect has withdrawn from Qingshi County. Did something happen? Bai Yiming and the others were taken aback by the news, wondering why the corpse-driving sect, which held the advantage, would hastily withdraw from Qingshi County. Continue to monitor the corpse-driving sect. Do not let your guard down. Bai Yiming, suspecting a possible trick, remained vigilant. 2 months later, the corpse-driving sect had fully withdrawn from Qingshi County. They had refined countless citizens into corpse puppets, plundered the county's resources, and left without a trace. Before long, news reached Qingshi County. The Qingyun sect and the Puryang Palace were locked in a fierce battle against the corpse-driving sect in Shilin County, suffering heavy casualties and were on the verge of being overrun. It was at this moment that the Green Dragon Temple intervened, forcefully crushing the corpse-driving sect. The Green Dragon Temple, a formidable Buddhist force of the human race, possessed a third-rank powerhouse and stood as an undisputed hegemon. Even the corpse-driving sect at its peak would tread with caution before them. The regrouping corpse-driving sect, unwilling to clash with the Green Dragon Temple, began to withdraw its forces, intending to hold fast to the Jiyuan and Guangin commanderies. With their retreat, the Green Dragon Temple's disciples also departed from Linen Commandery, and a temporary truce settled over the land. The battle had been devastatingly brutal. The Puryang Palace lost 6 7th-rank cultivators and 1 6th-rank master. The Qingyun sect was also shattered, with 6 of its 9 7th-rank elders slain, and its 6th-rank sect master gravely wounded, hovering between life and death. In the aftermath, Linen Commandery lay in ruins. Of its 7 subordinate counties, only Qingyun County and in county where the Qingyun sect was based escaped the corpse-driving sect's devastation. The other 5 counties suffered catastrophic losses. Countless civilians perished, and their resources were plundered wholesale. Voices of dissent rose. The Qingyun sect turned a blind eye to our suffering. They are unworthy to rule Linen Commandery. From this day forth, Huangshi County secedes from their dominion. The pent-up resentment against the Qingyun sect erupted. Huangshi County was the first to sever its ties, claiming its land and declaring independence. Their brazen defiance was emboldened by the Qingyun sect's crippled state. With their leader at death's door, the sect no longer possessed the strength to enforce its will. Following suit, Qingshuang County and Heishan County also broke away from the Qingyun sect's rule. Meanwhile, as the corpse-driving sect departed, the forces that had fled Qingshi County town began to return. Now the only 7th-rank cultivator left in Qingshi County town was Zhao Guangdao. His Guangdao sect, now dominant, also declared its secession. The entire Linen Commandery descended into a state of fragmented warlordism, all factions eyeing the weakened Qingyun sect with predatory intent. Many were merely biding their time for Du Yuanwu's demise. The moment he died, a coalition of powers would strike against the Qingyun sect, not only to seize its centuries of accumulated wealth, but also, more importantly, its cultivation techniques. The martial arts of the various county factions could only cultivate up to the 7th rank. To break through further, they required superior techniques, making the declining and ever-weakening Qingyun sect their most opportune target. Seizing the moment, the Bai family village proclaimed its elevation to Bai family town. Now boasting a population exceeding 20,000, its stature was no longer trivial. Patriarch Bai Chuyan advised, Sanshur town has been ravaged by the corpse-driving sect and lies masterless. Yet it holds vast arable land, including several hundred mu of spirit soil. We must claim it without delay. A long-established town, Sanchi's lands, particularly its 300 mu of spirit soil, remained intact despite the plunder. Bai Chuyan's council highlighted a prize the Bai family town was determined to secure. Indeed, Sanshur town must be ours. Bai Yiming, his mind cleared as if by a revelation, immediately dispatched men to occupy it. Bai Wu Jingxiu Chuyan, take 50 clan guards and 300 patrol members and seize Sanshur town at once. The 3 set out immediately, intent on claiming the town. Having made all arrangements, Bai Yiming approached Su Qingshan. After performing a grand ritual of reverence, he said, Ancestral spirit, our Bai clan has been blessed by your grace and has set foot on the right path. Yet our genealogy has been lost. We humbly beseech you to decree the generational hierarchy and re-establish our family tree. The Bai clan had once known glory, but a great calamity had reduced them to their current state. In times of weakness, when survival was precarious, the matter of re-establishing the genealogy had been perpetually deferred. Now, with their strength growing, it was time to restore their lineage and confirm the familial bloodline and hierarchy. Having heard Bai Yiming's plea, Su Qingshan drew him into a dream and imparted the generational order for the Bai clan's future. Xian Yuan Dao Qi Chang Zhen Wen Chang, Shi Pei Li Ji Shijia, Ke Fu Qing Bang Ming Yu Dun Yong Zheng Guang. Su Qingshan casually decreed the generation names. The descendants of Bai Jingqiu's generation and beyond would henceforth be named according to this order. We thank the ancestral spirit. Bai Yiming kowtowed devoutly, then set about revising the clan genealogy according to Su Qingshan's decree. When Bai Wu and his party arrived at Sanshur town, they found many factions had already returned staking claims to land. The Bai contingent arriving in force with an imposing air cowed many onlookers. Bai Wu declared loudly, "From this day forth Sanshur town belongs to the Bai clan. No one enters without our permission." His proclamation immediately incited an uproar. Indignation surged through the crowd. On what grounds? This was our territory to begin with. The Bai clan. Never heard of them. We won't give up Sanshur town. We've already claimed this land. No one can take it from us. A chorus of voices rose in protest, all refusing to yield the town. You seek death. In a flash of movement, Bai Wu's blade fell, and the three leaders of the descent lay decapitated, their eyes wide with disbelief and death. Why you? The crowd was stunned by Bai Wu's ruthlessness, killing without a word of warning. You have one day. Anyone still in Sanshur town after that will be executed without mercy. Bai Wu's voice was icy and dripping with murderous intent, sending a chill down everyone's spine. Cowed by his iron-fisted methods, they dared not voice their anger. Ultimately, they all chose to leave Sanshur town. For all its merits, a piece of land was not worth more than one's own life. Uncle Wu, Bai Qian spoke up, Sanshur town's lands are fertile, but we cannot farm them all ourselves. We could allow some people to stay and cultivate a portion in exchange for a share of the harvest paid to the clan. The Bai clan lacked the manpower to work all of Sanshur town's extensive lands. Leasing a portion to others in exchange for annual tribute was a sound strategy. You've got a sharp mind, boy. Handle these matters yourself. Trusting Bai Qian's intelligence, Bai Wu delegated the task to him. With Sanshur town under Bai clan control, the 300 mu of spirit soil became a focal point carefully guarded by clan members. Bai Qian's proposal was quickly implemented, attracting a large number of commoners to settle in the town. Several thousand people also migrated from Bai family town to Sanshur town, finally breathing new life into the place. Under the clan's protection, Bai Weiyun arrived to oversee the reclamation of spirit soil and the planting of spiritual herbs. Spirit soil rich with spiritual energy suitable for growing magical plants required the effort of cultivators to till. The 300 mu was a significant undertaking. To complete the reclamation, many cultivators from Bai family town were brought to Sanshur town. As time flowed by like a river, half a year slipped away in the blink of an eye. Under the diligent stewardship of the Bai clan, both Baijia town and Sanshur town flourished, brimming with vitality and prosperity. The renown of Sanshur town and Baijia town gradually spread throughout Qingshi County, and the wealth of the two towns stirred the covetous desires of other factions. Sanshur town was originally our territory, yet now it has been usurped by the Bai family village. This is an absolute outrage. The Huang family and numerous other factions gathered together. They had fled Sanshur town long ago, and after arriving in Qingshi County they were forced to flee once more alongside the Mad Blade sect. They had been drifting from place to place, living in constant peril. Finally, when the corpse-driving sect departed, they hurried back to Sanshur town only to discover it had already been occupied by the Bai family village. They argued and pleaded, attempting to reclaim Sanshur town, but found the Bai clan utterly unreasonable and unwilling to negotiate. When they attempted to seize Sanshur town by force, they were met with a severe beating, for they were no match for the Bai clan. The Bai family village has gone too far. If they won't let us live in peace, they won't be allowed to keep Sanshur town either. The crowd seethed with indignation. Though they were no match for the Bai family village, Qingshi County still housed the Mad Blade sect. They were certain the Mad Blade sect would be able to deal with the Bai family village. Having settled on a plan, they immediately set to work. They approached the Mad Blade sect, exaggerating the benefits of Sanshur town, hoping to provoke the sect into taking action against it. Within the Mad Blade sect, the Grand Elder reported to Zhao Guangdao regarding the Bai clan and Sanshur town. Sect Master, Sanshur town is prosperous. If we could claim it for ourselves, it would be a tremendous boon to the Mad Blade sect. Consumed by greed and swayed by the Huang family's persuasion, the Grand Elder desired to seize Sanshur town for himself. The Bai clan has managed to occupy two towns. They are not to be underestimated. Zhao Guangdao remained cautious. A clan that could survive the corpse-driving sect's purge and occupy two towns was certainly not an ordinary force. A great upheaval is imminent in Linen Prefecture. We should not stir up unnecessary trouble. Let this matter rest. Zhao Guangdao, wary of the Bai clan's strength, dared not act rashly. Du Yuanwu's time was drawing to a close. He would soon die. When that happened, all the factions in Linen Prefecture would seize the opportunity to attack the Qingyun sect, and the Mad Blade sect would be no exception. They could not afford to create disturbances at this critical juncture. Yes, Sectmaster. Despite his greed for Sanshur town, the Grand Elder dared not defy Zhao Guangdao's orders. According to intelligence, Sanshur town was guarded by a cultivator of the 8th rank. Without Zhao Guangdao's intervention, he could do nothing against it. With the Mad Blade sect refraining from action, the other factions dared not make a move against the Bai clan either. They could only watch helplessly as the Bai clan grew stronger day by day. The situation in Linen Prefecture grew increasingly tense, the very air thick with suffocating pressure. All factions were waiting for Du Yuanwu to die. The Qingyun sect, fully aware that Du Yuanwu's life was tied to their own survival, frantically gathered miraculous pills and herbs to sustain his life and buy precious time. In Qingshi County, at the Yong'an Merchant Guild, Bai Wu and Bai Chuyin were in conversation with Guild Master Li. Guild Master Li, the Bai clan, possesses a large quantity of spirit plants and numerous beast hides, sinews, and bones. Is the Yong'an Merchant Guild able to handle such a volume? The Bai clan now cultivated over 300 mu of spirit soil and 50 mu of spirit fields, growing a vast array of spirit plants. Clan members also continuously hunted in the great wilderness, amassing many beast carcasses. They sought a long-term partnership with the Yong'an Merchant Guild. Rest assured, Brother Bai. The Yong'an Merchant Guild is vast and prosperous, more than capable of handling all the Bai clan's goods. Guild Master Li was brimming with confidence. The scale of the Yong'an Merchant Guild far exceeded the Bai clan's imagination, with connections reaching across all 9 prefectures of Yuan province. Absorbing the Bai clan's resources was a trivial matter. Bai Wu continued, Guild Master Li, the Bai clan wishes to purchase a large quantity of damaged weapons and waste pills. We'll take as many as you can provide. Price is not an issue. To rapidly enhance their strength, pills were indispensable. Bai Wu intended to utilize the Yong'an Merchant Guild to source broken weapons and waste pills for the clan. No problem at all. As long as the price is right, anything is possible. As long as the spirit stones were sufficient, the Yong'an Merchant Guild would naturally gather a large supply of damaged weapons and waste pills for the Bai clan. In that case, we thank Guild Master Li. The conversation was pleasant, and it was a long while before Bai Wu and Bai Chuyin took their leave. They had purchased several 9th rank pill formulas from the guild intended for Bai Weiyun. Bai Weiyun was preparing to attempt alchemy, and the clan was fully supporting her. If she succeeded in refining pills, the Bai clan would gain their very own alchemist, a momentous achievement for the family. The Yong'an Merchant Guild acted swiftly and soon gathered a substantial collection of damaged weapons and waste pills for the Bai clan. The Bai clan purchased them all and had Bai Weiyun repair them. Another half-year passed in the blink of an eye, and the Bai clan experienced tremendous growth. With the aid of numerous pills, Bai Wu finally broke through to the 7th rank. Bai Chuyin and others also advanced to the mid-8th rank, while Bai Jingxiu broke through to the late 8th rank. The clan welcomed over 30 new 9th rank cultivators. The Bai clan organized 2 patrol squads of 500 members each, one to safeguard the order and security of Baijiao Town and the other for Sanshi Town. Boom! Bai Yiming, seated beside Su Qingshan, trembled as his aura erupted, successfully breaking through to the mid-7th rank. Your breakthrough couldn't have come at a better time. The timing of this breakthrough coincided perfectly with the impending war against the Qingyun sect. Du Yuanwu had clung to life for over a year, but had finally perished. All the factions in Linen Prefecture were stirring, conspiring to unite against the Qingyun sect. For the sake of the Qingyun sect's cultivation techniques, the Bai clan would also join the attack. Bai Yiming intended to lead the expedition personally, determined to obtain the sect's scriptures. Brother Kuei, I am about to depart for the Qingyun sect. I must entrust the safety of Baijiao Town to you during my absence. Bai Yiming entrusted Baijiao Town to Kuei Yi. With Kuei Yi's current unfathomable strength guarding the village, Bai Yiming felt at ease. Rest assured, as long as I am here, Baijiao Town will remain safe. Kuei Yi agreed. Subsequently, Bai Yiming departed from Baijiao Town alone. This battle was bound to be brutal, and bringing others along would only make them burdens. His sole objective was the Qingyun sect's techniques. He would not compete for the sect's resources, so there was no need for a large entourage. Move out. In Qingshi County, the Mad Blade sect, leading over 1,000 men, set out, with great fanfare, marching towards Qingyun County. On to Qingyun County. Destroy the Qingyun sect. The Qingyun sect has oppressed us for years. It's time they paid the price. Annihilate the Qingyun sect and restore clarity to Linen Prefecture. Numerous factions converged upon the Qingyun sect, all eager to partake in this grand feast. Having ruled Linen Prefecture for centuries, the sect's accumulated resources were beyond imagination, a temptation no one could resist. The Qingyun sect, aware of the converging forces, recalled all its disciples from outside, resolved to defend their mountain stronghold to the death against the united factions. Numerous factions converged upon Qingshi County, deliberating strategies to assault the Qingyun sect and partition its spoils. Gentlemen, the Linen Prefecture has suffered under the Qingyun sect's tyranny for far too long. Acting in the name of justice, we must uproot the Qingyun sect entirely, leaving no soul to escape. Human factions have always cloaked their ambitions in righteous pretexts, and this occasion was no different. All were drawn by avarice, yet they feigned righteousness as if championing the people's cause. The Qingyun sect has ruled Linen Prefecture for centuries, Even with Du Yunwu dead, they will not be easily vanquished. A dying camel still looms larger than a horse. The Qingyun sect's deep-rooted heritage meant this battle would imperil them all. Yet wealth has ever stirred mortal hearts, and the sect's vast riches justified the peril. Moreover, having openly seceded from the Qingyun sect, they were now locked in a death feud. Once the sect recovered its strength, it would surely hunt them down without mercy. For the sake of the Qingyun sect's treasures and their own survival, they had to strike first and annihilate the sect. With our combined numbers, we can exhaust them into submission. Delay breeds danger. Let us attack the Qingyun sect now. The combined forces of Huangshe, Qingshuang Heishan, and Qingshi counties gathered here, boasting 8 7th-rank cultivators, more than enough to crush a weakened Qingyun sect. While the factions plotted against the Qingyun sect by Yiming disguised and mingling among the crowd, had no intention of revealing himself. At the same moment, the Qingyun sect's 3 remaining 7th-rank cultivators fretted over the impending catastrophe. Keep a close watch on the disciples from the clans and sects lest they collude with the enemy from within. The 3rd elder commanded. The Qingyun sect's disciples fell into 3 categories. The core were the sect's own descendants, followed by children of common folk, and lastly disciples sent by affiliated clans and sects. In the sect's heyday, those clans and sects would kowtow in deference, and their disciples would remain loyal, never daring to harbor treacherous thoughts. Now that the Qingyun sect was on the verge of collapse, it was inevitable that some disciples would collude with the enemy. They had to remain vigilant. Has there been any word from the Pure Yang Palace? At the mention of the Pure Yang Palace, fury ignited within them. Had the Qingyun sect not devoted itself fully to supporting the Pure Yang Palace, it would never have suffered such devastating losses. Now on the brink of ruin, their desperate pleas for aid were met with cold indifference, an infuriating betrayal. Prepare for battle. Our Qingyun sect has stood firm in Linen Prefecture for centuries. We will not tolerate such insolence. With no reinforcements forthcoming from the Pure Yang Palace, the Qingyun sect had to rely solely on itself. 2 days later, the allied forces launched their assault. A murderous host of over 10,000 marched forth instantly, alarming the Qingyun sect. All disciples follow me to repel the enemy. Thousands of Qingyun sect disciples charged down the mountain, and the great battle erupted. Hiss. The carnage was brutal. Even cultivators met their end. Soon blood flowed like rivers and corpses littered the ground. Kill. Zhao Guangdao and 7 other 7th-rank cultivators joined the fray, descending upon the enemy like tigers among sheep, utterly unstoppable. They bypassed the sect's ordinary disciples, targeting only its cultivators to swiftly maximize their gains. How dare you! The 3rd elder and his 2 companions, witnessing this, flew into a frenzied rage and charged at the 8. Well met. The 3 elders' charge was exactly what the 8 had hoped for. Slay them, and the Qingyun sect would have no power left to resist. Boom. Qian Sifang fought, with ferocious valor, his 7th-rank saber whirling in a fierce gale, matching the 5th elder blow for blow, without yielding an inch. The Qingyun sect's 3 elders were formidable combatants, each wielding a 7th-rank weapon, and managed to hold the line against the enemy for a time. Yet Zhou Xing and his 6 companions were not fighting at full strength. Though allied against the Qingyun sect, they were also rivals to one another. Once the Qingyun sect fell, they would inevitably turn on each other for its treasures. To fight too recklessly and suffer injury would only benefit the others. With the 7 holding back and the 2 elders fighting with desperate abandon, the battle reached a stalemate. After prolonged combat without subduing the elders, Zhao Guangdao's fury boiled over. He bellowed at the others, "What in the hell are you doing? If you don't fight with everything you've got, I'm out of here." Zhao Guangdao was livid at their reluctance to commit. He was risking his life against the 5th elder while they hoarded their strength. There was no justice in that. Threatened by Zhao Guangdao, the 7 realized they could not prolong the standoff. They intensified their assault, driving the 2 elders into a corner. The 2 elders, unable to withstand the ferocious onslaught, were defeated. Retreat. They fled, grievously wounded, with the 7 in hot pursuit. You won't escape. The 7 chased relentlessly, surging into the Qingyun sect's inner grounds. Suddenly the 2 elders halted, their blood-soaked forms twisting into eerie smiles. Where can you possibly run? Surrender now, and we might grant you a proper burial. Zhou Xing and his companions closed in, intent on finishing them off. Suddenly a figure moved with the speed of lightning, striking in their midst. Boom. A 7th-rank cultivator was caught by a vicious palm strike, his body sent flying crashing to the ground. His gaze went blank, and in an instant he was dead. No, it's Du Yunwu, he's alive. Du Yunwu lives? Everyone flee. Zhou Xing and the others were struck with sheer terror. The one who had attacked was Du Yunwu, the man they thought dead. They realized they had been deceived. Du Yunwu had faked his death, luring them into the Qingyun sect to annihilate them in one fell swoop. The sect had no other choice. Du Yunwu was nearing the end of his life. His injuries prevented him from traveling to eliminate the rebellious factions across the counties. So he spread the news of his demise, baiting all enemies to the Qingyun sect to use his final breath in slaying the sect's greatest threats. Boom. Crash. Crack. The chasm between the 6th and 7th ranks was insurmountable. Even on the verge of death, Du Yuanwu dispatched the 7th rank cultivators with contemptuous ease. In a short span, only 2 of the 7 managed to flee the sect's gates. Du Yuanwu had no intention of letting them go, and he gave swift chase. As Du Yuanwu thundered out of the Qingyun sect, a shadowy figure had already slipped into its scripture pavilion, frantically searching for the sect's cultivation techniques. True to its reputation as the dominant force of Linen Prefecture for centuries, the Qingyun sect's pavilion housed a vast collection of techniques. Bai Yiming claimed many of them, which would become the foundation of the Bai clan's future strength. As Zhou Xing and his companion fled in panic, Zhao Guangdao, locked in combat with the 5th elder, witnessed their flight. Confounded, he shouted, "What are you doing?" But Zhou Xing and the other gave no reply, bursting into a speed they had never shown before, as if fleeing from some apocalyptic beast chasing at their heels. Noticing their unusual behavior, Zhao Guangdao immediately sensed something amiss and moved to pursue them for answers. With a thunderous crash, the 5th elder erupted at that very moment, launching a relentless and storm-like assault upon him. Zhao Guangdao was unable to break away and could only devote his full strength to countering the 5th elder's attacks. Suddenly his face drained of color, and a chill ran down his spine as he finally understood the reason for Zhou Xing's and his companion's desperate flight. "Didu Du Yuanwu, why you're not dead?" Seeing Du Yuanwu charging at him with murderous intent, Zhao Guangdao was seized with abject terror, his soul nearly fleeing his body and his heart and liver threatening to burst. With a sharp thrust, the 5th elder seized the opportunity and ran his sword through Zhao Guangdao's body, gravely wounding him. At the same moment, Du Yuanwu closed in and smashed his palm against Zhao Guangdao's head, shattering it with blood and brain matter splattering everywhere. "We're doomed, flee. Run." The enemy's 7th rank cultivators were either dead or in flight, and the morale of those below was utterly shattered. They threw away their armor and weapons, clutching their heads and scattering in panic. Suddenly a thunderous boom echoed as 3 figures clashed fiercely. The 3rd elder shouted, "Sect Master, this man has stolen our sect's cultivation methods. We cannot let him escape." Hearing this, the 5th elder and Du Yuanwu immediately launched a pincer attack on Bai Yiming. This is troublesome. Bai Yiming had been searching for the Qingyun sect's techniques in the scripture pavilion when the commotion he caused alerted the 3rd elder and his companion. Although he had obtained the Qingyun sect's 5th rank cultivation method, he was discovered by the 2. They were not his match due to their injuries, but after consuming healing pills that restored them to their peak condition, they desperately fought to delay him. With a burst of power, Bai Yiming activated the Pig Talisman's energy. The scorching force blasted the 2 away, and they could no longer hinder his escape. By now, Du Yuanwu and the 5th elder had caught up. The 5th elder swung his sword, aiming a vicious slash at Bai Yiming's head. Bai Yiming struck out with his palm, infusing the palm energy with the power of a heat ray. The formidable force impacted the sword, transmitted through to the 5th elder's hand, which couldn't withstand it, and the sword was sent flying from his grasp. With a thunderous clash, Du Yuanwu attacked, and their palms met in a shockwave that staggered them both. A trace of blood trickled from the corner of Bai Yiming's mouth, but he had successfully blocked Du Yuanwu's strike. Du Yuanwu, already gravely wounded and near death, had expended his remaining strength to slay several enemies earlier. He was utterly exhausted and could no longer unleash the full power of a 6th rank cultivator. Suddenly 2 beams of light shot from Bai Yiming's eyes, catching Du Yuanwu off guard. Du Yuanwu reacted swiftly, unleashing his true essence to repel Bai Yiming while dodging the incoming rays. Taking advantage of the moment, Bai Yiming fired several more rays, forcing Du Yuanwu to constantly evade. Seizing this opening, Bai Yiming quickly made his getaway. After Bai Yiming fled, Du Yuanwu did not give chase. His stalwart frame suddenly collapsed. "Sect Master! Sect Master! Sect Master!" The 3rd elder and others cried out in alarm as they rushed to Du Yuanwu's side. Their worst fears had come to pass. Du Yuanwu had shed his last drop of blood for the sect, dying from sheer exhaustion. News of the battle spread like wildfire, quickly sweeping across Linen Prefecture and even reaching Yuanzhou. The Qingyun sect held a grand funeral for Du Yuanwu, concealing the fact that their techniques had been stolen. All of the Qingyun sect's techniques had backups, so the theft had no immediate major impact on them. The crescent moon shines upon the 9 provinces, casting light on some in joy and others in sorrow. The Qingyun sect was shrouded in gloom, and the many factions in Huangshi County, Qingshi County, Heishui County, and Qingshuang County were also in a miserable state. Their attack on the Qingyun sect had not only failed to yield the expected benefits, but had also resulted in heavy losses and a severely weakened state. Most critically, the Qingyun sect still had their 3 elders, while only 2 of their 8 7th-rank cultivators had escaped with their lives. From now on, the balance of power had shifted, and they would have to be on constant guard against retaliation from the Qingyun sect. Within Baijiao town, everything appeared unchanged. Bai Yiming told no one about his recent expedition, fearing that the news might leak. He summoned Bai Wu, who was stationed in Sanshur town, back to have him cultivate the Qingyun sect's 5th rank technique. Bai Wu quickly returned to Baijiao town and immediately came to pay his respects to Bai Yiming. Patriarch, is there a task you have for me? Even as a 7th rank cultivator, Bai Wu remained largely unchanged, showing great respect towards Bai Yiming. This is a 5th rank technique I obtained from the Qingyun sect. From now on you will cultivate this technique alongside me. The Qingyun sect's technique could allow one to reach the 5th rank realm, enough to sustain the Bai clan's growth for a long time. Both Bai Wu and he were at the 7th rank realm. To advance further, they would need to cultivate the Qingyun sect's technique. Yes, Patriarch. Bai Wu naturally would not refuse. He knew that Bai Yiming must have risked life and limb to obtain this technique, and he could not let down Bai Yiming's efforts. The situation in Linan Prefecture has changed drastically, with chaos erupting even in Qingshi County. There's no need for us to get embroiled in it. Our focus should be on quietly increasing our strength. As news of Zhao Guangdao's death spread back to Qingshi County, the Guangdao sect fell from grace overnight, becoming the target of attacks from numerous factions. The various powers in Qingshi County were locked in a fierce struggle for control of the county seat. The Bai clan had no reason to join the fray. Baijiao town and Sanshur town were sufficient for their current development, and there was no need to expose their true strength. Patriarch, we could establish our own trading company to purchase damaged weapons and pills from other counties or even other prefectures rather than relying solely on the yeoman trading company. Bai Wu suggested that the Bai clan form its own trading company, which would make it more convenient to procure damaged weapons and pills in the future and free them from external constraints. A good idea, very thoughtful of you. Xingyun and Lufeng have already broken through to the 8th rank realm. They can be entrusted with this important task. The Bai clan's strength was growing at an astonishing pace. They now had 11 8th rank cultivators and nearly 100 9th rank cultivators, a truly formidable number. These clan members had matured and were ready to share the family's burdens. After copying the technique, Bai Wu returned to Sanshur town to take charge. Although nothing major had occurred in Sanshur town recently, and Bai Qiuyan and the others were managing things well, Bai Wu decided to return to ensure everything was absolutely secure. Subsequently, Bai Yiming established the Bai clan trading company. Bai Xingyun and Bai Lufeng were entrusted with the significant responsibility, leading a team of dozens of merchants as they departed from Baijiao town. It was the company's first trading expedition, and the two were extremely nervous, fearful of failing the family's expectations. The rest of the clan continued to hunt in the great wilderness, bringing back numerous offerings each day for the ancestral spirit. As the Bai clan grew stronger, they began venturing deeper into the great wilderness, bringing back better offerings that greatly accelerated the pace at which the talismans were unsealed. At the corpse-herding sect in Jiyuan Prefecture, a heated argument was underway about whether to attack Linan Prefecture. Linan is in chaos, leaderless. If we don't invade now, when will we? The 7th Elder was a strong advocate for war, pushing for an immediate attack on Linan Prefecture. With no 6th rank cultivators left in Linan, it would be an easy prize for them to seize. No, the Puryang Palace is still watching us, and if we make a move, the Green Dragon Temple might also turn against us. It's unwise to act rashly for now. The 5th Elder disapproved of invading Linan Commandery at this moment. They had already drawn the attention of many powerful factions, and failing to exercise restraint could invite lethal danger. Let us bide our time for now. The human realm will not remain peaceful for long, and our opportunity will soon arrive. The 2nd Elder also opposed invading Linan Commandery at this time. Within the Bai clan's ancestral grounds, a violent fluctuation suddenly erupted, startling Bai Yiming. This fellow Taoist Kuei Yi is actually breaking through. Watching Kuei Yi assault the 6th rank realm, Bai Yiming was utterly incredulous. He knew Kuei Yi's origins, merely a puppet granted life by the ancestral spirit. Possessing his own sentience was already an impossibility. A few days prior, Su Qingshan had instructed him to hand over the cultivation manual obtained from the Qingyun sect to Kuei Yi. At the time, he had been baffled by the order. Yet in just a few short days, Kuei Yi had cultivated the Qingyun sect's techniques and begun surging toward a breakthrough, leaving him astounded. Boom! Kuei Yi's cultivation advanced as naturally as water flowing into a channel, effortlessly shattering the bottleneck to become a 6th rank cultivator, leaving Bai Yiming utterly dumbfounded. Congratulations, brother Kuei, on breaking through to the 6th rank. The great Tao lies ahead of you. Bai Yiming recovered his composure and offered his congratulations. Thank you for the manual, brother Bai. Without it, I could not have broken through. Kuei Yi's breakthrough was also a boon for the Bai clan. If the clan faced a crisis, he would not stand idly by. Kuei Yi was a remarkable existence. During this period, Su Qingshan had also used the power of the rat talisman on several other puppets and weapons. Yet the sentience born in those puppets and weapons quickly dissipated. Only Kuei Yi's intellect not only persisted, but also allowed him to cultivate like a human, defying Su Qingshan's expectations. As the Bai clan's strength grew, a portion of the seal on Su Qingshan loosened further. His divine sense could now envelop the entire Bai family town, and even that was not his limit. The unsealing of the talismans was progressing smoothly. At this rate, all of them would be freed within a year or two. Few knew of Kuei Yi's existence, and his breakthrough caused no stir in Bai family town. Before long, a momentous, joyous event occurred within the Bai clan. Bai Weiyun successfully refined a 9th rank elixir, becoming an alchemist. Our Bai clan has produced an alchemist. Heaven has truly favored us. Our clan has advanced by leaps and bounds in recent years, all smooth sailing, all thanks to the ancestral spirit's protection. Excellent. From this day forth our Bai clan shall soar to the heavens. Countless clansmen were ecstatic, cheering and celebrating, and even the common folk of the two towns were stirred with excitement. An alchemist was an invaluable asset vital to any faction. Even the Qingyun sect, which had dominated Linen commandery for centuries, possessed only one 8th rank alchemist and 3 9th rank alchemists. It was said that this 8th rank alchemist's lifespan was nearing its end, and the Qingyun sect had made quite a commotion over the matter. Bai Weiyun at such a tender age was already a 9th rank alchemist, and had been blessed by the ancestral spirit. Her future was boundless, and surpassing the Qingyun sect's alchemists was not beyond the realm of possibility. News of the Bai clan's prodigious alchemists spread swiftly throughout Qingshi County, drawing the attention of countless powers. The Bai clan had become a colossus in Qingshi County. Though they had not partaken in the struggle for the county seat, no faction dared to underestimate them. Many factions flocked to Bai family town to offer congratulations on the emergence of an alchemist. Within the clan's main hall, Bai Weiyun was attempting to refine an 8th rank elixir as 9th rank ones no longer posed a challenge. Boom. Just as the elixir was about to condense, the furnace suddenly exploded, ruining the batch. 8th rank elixirs are indeed difficult. This is already my 3rd failure. Bai Weiyun invoked the power of the horse talisman to restore the damaged furnace to its original state, and the medicinal ingredients reverted to their pre-condensation form. With the horse talisman in her possession, Bai Weiyun could attempt alchemy countless times without worrying about depleting materials, a luxury that surpassed countless others. Once Bai Weiyun could produce elixirs, the Bai clan began purchasing spiritual herbs en masse for her use. Time flowed like a drifting cloud, and shifting shadows, 2 years passed in the blink of an eye. The Bai clan experienced meteoric growth. Bai Yiming broke through to the late 7th rank, Bai Wu reached the mid-7th rank, and Bai Jingxiu became the clan's 3rd 7th rank cultivator. Bai Chuyan, Bai Liufeng, Bai Xingyun, Bai Shanghuai, and others all broke through to the late 8th rank. The clan now boasted over 100 9th rank cultivators. Jingxiu, I intend to establish a clan war guard. You shall be its commander. Bai Jingxiu, after years of trials and experience, was more than ready for such a responsibility. Bai Yiming planned to forge a formidable armed force to eliminate the Bai clan's enemies. Clan leader Jingxiu obeys the command. Subsequently, the Bai clan selected 1,000 men from both Bai family town and Sanshi town to form the war guard. They received monthly wages sufficient to support their families, spending their days in cultivation and their nights in readiness for battle. The war guard was established at Su Qingshan's behest, preparing for future territorial expansion. In Fenggang County, Liaoan commandery, Bai Xingyun and others were conversing with an elderly man. Truly, heroes emerge from youth. Your Bai clan fills this old man with envy. Wang Xian gazed at Bai Xingyun and Bai Lufeng before him, his eyes brimming with admiration. Senior Wang flatters us. After more than 2 years of experience, Bai Xingyun and the others had shed their youthful naivety, becoming mature and composed. Under their stewardship, the Bai clan's merchant guild had flourished, extending its business into Liaoan commandery. The elderly man before them was the head of the Wang family in Fenggang County and a 7th rank cultivator. For the Bai merchant guild to break into the local market, they needed his blessing. The goods your guild brings are precisely what Fenggang County lacks. Our cooperation would be mutually beneficial, each obtaining what the other needs. Wang Xian had long since reviewed the goods brought by the Bai merchant guild and recognized their immense value to Fenggang County. However, I do hope the guild can supply more weapons and elixirs. I assure you, you will not be shortchanged. Weapons and elixirs were perpetually in short supply, and the Wang family yearned for more. Over the years, the Bai clan's reputation had gradually spread, with Bai Weiyun's fame as a prodigious alchemist echoing across several major commanderies. The mere thought of someone so young refining 8th rank elixirs was almost beyond comprehension. The Bai clan not only sold elixirs, but also a vast array of weapons. Some factions suspected that the clan harbored not only an alchemy prodigy in Bai Weiyun, but also a forging genius, one whose identity had yet to be revealed to the outside world. Agreed. The Bai merchant guild will bring more elixirs and weapons on its next visit. Bai Xingyun did not refuse. As long as they paid in spirit stones, it made no difference who the buyers were. Having concluded their deal, Bai Xingyun and his companion departed from the Wang family with great satisfaction. Watching them leave, Wang Xian's eyes glinted with a sharp light as he murmured to himself, the Bai clan is truly not to be underestimated. Linen Prefecture may well become their domain in the future. In recent years, the rising fame of the Bai clan had attracted the greed of many powers. A year ago, a band of bandits attacked Sanshire town, but was annihilated by Bai Wu. Even their leader, a 7th-rank cultivator, failed to escape. This battle showcased the Bai clan's strength and deterred countless forces from covetous designs. The Bai clan had become a formidable power in Linen Prefecture. Had it not been for this, the Bai Trading Company would not have had the privilege of an audience with Wang Xian. Before long, the Qingyun sect suddenly struck, obliterating the Zhou family of Huangshi County. Zhou Xing perished under the joint siege of 2 elders, and Huangshi County fell once more under the sect's dominion. Of the 7 counties in Linen Prefecture and County, Qingyun County and Huangshi County were now under the Qingyun sect's rule. Qilin County stood isolated with no one willing to take it over. Should the corpse-driving sect invade Qilin County, would bear the brunt of the assault. No one would accept such a hot potato. Heishan County and Qingshuang County remained independent, while Qingshi County also broke away from the Qingyun sect's control. Move out. Outside Bai Family Town, Bai Jingxiu gave the order, and the fully trained Bai Family Guard army marched in force toward Qingshi County. The Bai clan was now mighty and well-equipped. No longer needing to bide their time, they would conquer Qingshi County and claim it entirely. Disaster. The Bai clan has come. Within Qingshi County, numerous factions panicked in utter chaos. With the Bai clan's army pressing down on them, they felt an immense pressure bearing down. What do we do? The Bai clan has a 7th-rank cultivator. How can we possibly resist? The mere thought of the Bai clan's 7th-rank cultivator filled them with despair. At this point, all resistance is futile. Surrender. The Bai clan is too powerful for us to oppose. Do not put up a stubborn fight. Open the city gates. Let the Bai clan enter. The factions of Qingshi County dared not resist opening the gates wide and surrendering to the Bai clan. The guard army marched straight in and took control of Qingshi County without encountering any resistance. This left Bai Jingxiu somewhat disappointed. He had hoped to use the county's various factions to temper his troops, yet the county had fallen without a single sword being drawn. After the county seat fell to the Bai clan, the other 4 towns quickly submitted as well. Within just half a year, Qingyun County had become the domain of the Bai clan. Having conquered Qingshi County, the Bai clan officially entered the eyes of all major powers, becoming a force to be reckoned with. Within the Qingyun sect, grief prevailed as an 8th-rank alchemist who had served the sect for years passed away in meditation, a tremendous loss for the sect. Sect Master with Elder Mu's passing, the remaining alchemists of the sect are of limited talent and cannot shoulder the heavy responsibility. The sect's alchemy tradition faces a succession crisis that must be resolved quickly. The Qingyun sect's remarkable development over the years was inseparable from Elder Mu, their 8th-rank alchemist. Even the current sect master Du Zhanfeng had broken through to the 7th rank thanks to a pill refined by Elder Mu. His passing was a devastating blow to the Qingyun sect. Doesn't the Bai clan have a prodigy alchemist? Have Yun'er go to the Bai clan to propose marriage and bring this alchemist into our fold. Du Zhanfeng intended for his son to marry Bai Weiyun, thereby binding the Bai clan's prodigy alchemist to the Qingyun sect and filling the void left by Elder Mu. Upon hearing this, the 3rd elder's eyes lit up, but he harbored some reservations. Sect Master and 8th-rank alchemist is of utmost importance to the Bai clan. They will not agree to this marriage. Unless the Bai clan were foolish, they would never agree to marry off their prodigy alchemist to another power. If they won't have a choice. Du Zhanfeng snorted coldly. If the Bai clan refused, the Qingyun sect had plenty of means at their disposal. Although the Qingyun sect no longer had a 6th-rank cultivator to hold the sect together, they remained the undisputed premier power of Linen Prefecture. Dealing with the Bai clan would be a simple task. Du Zhanfeng had the news spread, and it quickly traveled throughout Linen Prefecture. After the news spread, the 3rd elder set out with Du Yunting for Qingshi County to propose the marriage. What? The Bai clan is marrying their prodigy alchemist to the Qingyun sect's young master. How is that possible? The Bai clan must be utterly foolish. How could they be so stupid? Does the Bai clan not understand the importance of an 8th-rank alchemist? To think they would marry her off. When the various factions first heard the news, they were all incredulous, refusing to believe the Bai clan would commit such a self-destructive act. Yet the news came from the Qingyun sect, and it was stated with such certainty that they had no choice but to believe it. The Bai clan would never be so foolish. The Qingyun sect must be using their power to coerce them. The Qingyun sect is truly detestable, forcing the Bai clan's prodigy alchemist to join them. We should have eradicated this scourge at all costs long ago. Some factions speculated that the Qingyun sect had threatened the Bai clan, for why else would they marry off their prodigy alchemist to another power? While the outside world was in an uproar over this matter, the Bai clan was also seething with fury. What nonsense about the Qingyun sect's young master. A toad lusting after swan meat. Does he think himself worthy of marrying Weiyun? Wei Yun is the pride of our Bai clan, blessed by the ancestral spirit. She cannot be married off. We refuse this marriage. The Bai clan members were in an uproar, refusing to allow Bai Wei Yun to join the Qingyun sect. Patriarch, this matter is entirely baseless, spread by the Qingyun sect. We know not their intentions. Bai Yiming and the others gathered to discuss the matter. They had received no warning, no hint of this news about the Bai clan marrying off their daughter. This is the work of the Qingyun sect. By spreading this news, they intend to force our hand, compelling us to marry Wei Yun into their sect. Bai Yiming's eyes flashed with a cold light as he deduced the Qingyun sect scheme. Spread the word that the supposed marriage alliance between our Bai clan and the Qingyun sect is entirely fictitious, a wishful fantasy of the Qingyun sect alone. In the past, the Bai clan would never have dared to spread such a message, for it would mean completely offending the Qingyun sect. But times had changed. The Bai clan no longer feared the Qingyun sect. Before the Bai clan could spread their message, the third elder and Du Yunting had already arrived at Qingshi County. Elder, what does this Bai Wei Yun look like? If she's ugly, I won't marry her. After entering Qingshi County, Du Yunting continued his ceaseless complaints. The third elder wished he could slap some sense into him, or hand him a mirror to see his own reflection. With his demeanor, he should consider himself blessed by his ancestors to even have a chance at marrying Bai Wei Yun, yet he remained ungrateful. Truly mud that cannot be plastered onto a wall.